You going live on your Facebook, right? Okay, cool.
All right, everybody. It's Sunday. Where y'all at? We'll give y'all a second to chime in. Ain't nobody trying to be out here watching
Man, it's 80 degrees.
80 degrees. They
We
out
going
there.
head up with the weather. If it was snowing, it's cool though. We gonna make it work.
Yeah. So hey everybody, what's going on? This is Lavish T. Williams. I'm glad for those that's joining us to be joining us on Sunday today. Seeing that it's 80 degrees, it's a nice, beautiful day.
We don't even want to be here, so
right. So you guys chose to watch us. So listen, today on the show, I got a very special guest. A Detroit hometown hero, man. This guy right here, man.
Too kind.
You guys seen him. Even if you don't know who he is, even if you haven't seen his face, you definitely seen his work around the city, around the state. Let me name one of the places, Mr. Allen's.
Mm-hmm.
Let me name a jacket, starter's jacket. You put them two together, and you got this individual right here, man. I want to turn it over. I want to let him introduce himself. Who do we got in the house right now?
What up, though? What up, though? Ty MOPKINS. What up?
What up?
What up? You gotta say, what up, though?
So we got Ty MOPKINS in here, man. I told you we was gonna have a special guest up in the house today, man, and we got him in here. We're gonna talk about a little bit of who he is and what he does around town, man. Ty,
What up?
Detroiter.
Mm-hmm.
You grew up Grand River.
Born and raised.
Roseland, man.
Roseland, 12,000 block.
Let's give us a little bit of history of your childhood growing up over there, man.
Well, growing up, just like, some of the typical families in the mid 70s, early 80s, we grew up during a time where it was the mother and the father in the home. So my childhood was great. Just we struggled at times, but the block I grew up on, we all was struggling. So we never knew we was struggling.
Right.
Sometimes lights was cut off, water was cut off, but we made the best of it because a lot of people around us was going through the same issues as well too. So that taught me a lot to where I'm at today at 50 years old. So, we're going to get into this, man. We're going to dive into this because I know it's a lot of questions that want to be asked. And I got a couple of special announcements to make too, and
yeah.
we can talk about whatever you want to talk about, brother. Nothing is off limits today.
Man, we got a lot to talk about, man, because me personally, I want to let people know that this is actually the first time me and Ty have talked face to face.
Right.
I've been watching the guy through social media. I've been watching for the last few years, man. He's been doing nothing but good things, big things, and that's what got my attention to him. Now, Ty, you growing up, and I want to ask you this because you're 50, so you grew up in a certain era.
Oh yeah.
Roseland, Grand River is not the best neighborhood.
No.
Now, how was it back then? Because this helps me line my next question up. Was it kind of rough back then?
It was getting to the point where it was rough, but like I said, it was still a block, and it was still a community.
Okay.
And it was still a neighborhood. The neighbor hasn't left the hood yet.
All right.
So it was still a neighborhood, but like I said, we struggled at times a lot. So we was mid 70s, early 80s. It was catching on where the neighborhood was declining, coming up.
Okay. Now, my next question for you as an individual, because even in the 80s, when I grew up, when you had mixed children, when you had light-skinned kids, they never did really fit in.
Right.
So
I'm glad you asking this question.
Yeah, so
I'm glad you're going here.
So for me growing up and being on the playground,
right,
I used to see the mixed kids,
right,
or the white kids,
right,
or the light skinned kids. I used to see them get picked on a lot more. They used to get bullied.
Right.
For you, how was your childhood, seeing that you're a very light skinned individual and come from a mixed family? Correct.
Right. Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So how was that for you personally?
You know what? I can honestly say not until I went to high school was I ever like quote unquote picked on, because they didn't look at me like that. Because like I said, everything I did I used to do with my dad, so they saw my dad, so they knew. And then when they hear me talk, they knew I had some type of black in me, or I was raised around black. But my father's black and my mother is white, so growing up, I never had to deal with those issues. People just looked at me as Roni. My nickname in the hood was Roni. So, so they never did that. But all that came to fruition when I started going to high school, because I didn't go to high school in my neighborhood. I went to Southwestern. So people would look at you like they didn't know who you were.
Okay.
Are you Mexican? Are you Arabic? You're everything except black. And even to this day, a lot of people may look at me now and be like, yo, what is he? But then when I start talking and when I start, they're like, oh,
okay, yeah, he got a little edge, so
yeah,
he from the hood.
He been around some blacks.
Right.
But I had to tell them, no, I'm mixed. My dad black, my mom white. And the funny part about that is I never knew any of my white side of the family, because my mom's family disowned her for being with my dad.
Oh, no stuff.
Because, they from the southern part of Ohio. So they was strict racists.
Wow.
So I never knew. I recently just met my white cousins, when my mom passed last year, and they came to the funeral. Other than that, I have never met any of my white side of the family in 49 years.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
All black.
All black. So I've been
disowned now. Having her disowned, did she stop communication? Was there communication stop between your mother and the family? That's a great
question. So she will always keep in contact with them, and especially when Facebook came around.
Okay.
So they would leave little messages there and all that. And being with my mom, and just watching that void of her life. And it's funny because when her dad died, so when I talk about her family, I never say my grandfather, my cousins, or none of that stuff, because I never had a relationship with them. That's my mom's family.
Okay.
That's not my family. That's my mom's family. Until recently, when I got connected with my two cousins. So when my mom found out her dad was dying, this was maybe like 10 years ago, she tried to make an effort to call him, like to make peace and all that stuff. So she would call. And you can cuss on here and all that stuff.
Yeah. No, it's unfiltered.
Sure, I don't want to make sure because it get graphic.
No, we want realness, raw.
So when my mom called to talk to her father, because he's dying. Okay. He's dying, and she hasn't talked to him in years. When he picked up the phone, you know what the first thing he said to my mom was?
No, what was it?
Are you still with that nigger?
No,
not stuff. The A, the ER. Not the NIGGA, wow. The NIGGER.
On a dying deathbed.
Dying deathbed.
Dang.
But the shit gets deeper than this. The shit gets deeper than this. And we can talk about this a little later, but this has nothing to do with this, but it has something to do with racism still to this day.
Okay.
So my mom just hung up the phone and still couldn't believe it. So when he died, she still went to the fucking funeral. So I was mad at her. I was mad at her that she ever wanted any type of relationship with that side of the family, because I'm like, fuck them. They don't fuck with us. Fuck them.
Mm-hmm.
So that shit, it hurt a lot, but it also made me feel guilty once she passed. And then I found out she was having relationships with my cousins, her nieces, and they wasn't like that, because they would say, we just thought you hated us. Well, I did hate y'all because I didn't know y'all.
Because you didn't, yeah.
Because guess what? You could have reached out to us too. Once you hurt my mom, the gloves was off. So it was like, hey, fuck y'all. So, that right there was a story. And remind me to touch back about the story that led up to that too after my mom passed, because I want to talk about something with the where she's buried at.
Okay.
Because this is something that me and my wife couldn't believe was going on. So make sure we bring that up later.
Oh, yeah, I got you, man. Okay. It's like all kinds. I mean, death brings peace to some.
It does.
And then it's like a Pandora box that opens.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Yeah.
Depending on families and relationships.
Right.
With individuals and everything like that.
Right.
So now you at Southwestern.
Mm-hmm.
That's a long way from
The great Detroit Southwestern. We got to make sure we put the
the
great
great.
Detroit Southwestern.
You know, some might beg to differ.
That's cool. I mean,
You know,
I understand everybody couldn't go to Southwestern. I get it.
I'm a Mumford guy, so you know I stand
Oh,
strong.
you went to Mumford?
I went to
I'm
Mumford.
sorry to hear that.
I tell people that too. You
How
know,
was it like going to a school with no windows?
man, you know, Mumford was a beautiful school, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that went to Samuel C. Mumford,
Okay.
you know.
Okay.
But yeah, it
The
was
blue
cool.
school.
The blue school,
There you
you
go.
know, the blue cool school.
Mhm.
But yeah, Southwestern was nowhere close to
Nowhere.
Grand River, man. So how
Nowhere.
did that come about?
So it's funny because I was just debating this with a friend of mine last night, James Harris. So we would talk about our middle schools. So I went to Tappan Middle School, and we had one of the greatest middle school bands ever. So I was the
Okay.
drum captain in the band. So he went to Ann Arbor Trail. So we would always argue about who had the best bands back in those days. So coming from Tappan, I really was supposed to go to McKenzie because McKenzie's right down the street from my house.
Right.
So I practiced with the band all summer long, and these was the time where it wasn't like open enrollments where a kid can go anywhere and all that. You had to go.
You had to
register.
live. Yeah,
you had to live in that district, so you had to go register your kid. So our feeder school at Tappan was Northwestern. Nothing against Northwestern. I didn't want to go to Northwestern. I wanted to go to McKenzie. So I'm practicing all summer long with the band. Got my uniform, and I'm like, yeah, I'm about to go to McKenzie. We about to run this. I had it all mapped out. I was gonna go from McKenzie to Southern University because Southern was the feeder school for McKenzie, especially the band.
Okay.
So my mom had a different plan. So what I didn't know that one of her best friends lived in Southwest Detroit, and we used her address. So my mom went and registered me at Southwestern. And I'm like, when it's time to go to school, she was like, well, you're not going to McKenzie, you're going to Southwestern. And I'm like, how, why, and how? And I'm just thinking now, my life is distraught because my whole dreams are gone. So she was like, I don't want you to go to McKenzie because you know everybody, and I want you to stay focused because these next 4 years are gonna go quick, and you're not gonna focus because you're gonna get to McKenzie, you're gonna be bullshitting,
Right.
and you're not gonna graduate, and you're not gonna do this. And I'm like, oh my God. So I had to catch 2 buses for Southwestern. So I had to catch the Grand River to Livernois down to 4th Street and walk like 2 blocks. So that was like a whole new world because I never messed with Southwest Detroit. You know, we always thought that Southwest Detroit was like the lower end of Detroit, the low part of Detroit. And I'm already coming from Grand River and Oakland where it's fucked up at. And now you sending me to Southwest Detroit right here on 4th Street where the whole at and Del Rey and everything at. I'm just like, wow. So it was a culture shock for me. And it was also a reality shock for me when I went to Southwestern.
But going to Southwestern, you know, it seems as if Southwestern made a lot of big names.
Yeah.
A lot of big names came out of Southwestern.
Yeah. So it was a gift and a curse because later on, catching the Livernois bus to school, I met one of my best friends, one of my brothers to this day is Jalen Rose. So we would always catch the Livernois bus together, and I never forget, it was this skinny kid, bad skin, acne, all that stuff. And he used to have these fucked up ass Walkmans on. We still talk about this to this day. And he used to be taped together. And he used to always sing the EPMD song, I Shot the Sheriff. Every day, every morning when I got on the bus, he had it on, what up? And he would have this old ass, dirty ass 76er starter jacket on. And it's ironic how starter plays a part in everything.
All right.
So even to this day. So he was like, man, you know I'm going to the league, right? You know, and he had this same cocky attitude that he has now. He got it now. He had it then. So he would always be like, you know, I'm going to the league, man. Watch, man. I'm a ball. You're going to see me. I'm like, yeah, okay. You know, and then once I started seeing him play, this when Jalen was a freshman talking this shit.
Okay.
He had the same arrogant attitude. And not only did I associate with Jalen, that's when I met Terry and Demetrius.
Oh, no stuff. Okay.
So, you know, we all know their story.
All right. Yeah, we definitely know their story.
I was around that era as well, too. So it's just like, and even to this day, me and T still communicate. We talk back and forth to each other, you know. So it's like, you know, and then my man Terrence Wheeler, he went to Detroit Southwestern.
Okay.
He could give back in the community a lot out there in the River Woods. So, and then he do a lot of stuff here in the public with Detroit with Derek Coleman. So it's like going to Southwestern, it was a curse, but I worked it into a gift.
Right.
Where I still have a relationship with these guys to this day.
Yeah, I see that, man. Great
Yeah,
relationships, man.
yeah. And so now I say, that's why I say the great Detroit Southwestern. So, I still love McKenzie. I wish I could have went there, but Southwestern will always have my heart.
Okay, that's cool. So now you in high school, man.
Mhm.
You in high school. What was your fashion? Because you're a fashion guy. So
Right.
what was in high school? What was your fashion style? What were you like in school? Were you like the cool kid, the dresser?
Yeah, because
Okay.
people couldn't figure me out because they would never call me Ty. They would call me West Side because I came from the West Side.
Okay.
They're like, oh, here come West Side with this West Side shit. Always got to be matched head to toe, new shoes on every day. So during in that phase, from 85 to 90, we was doing shit like Van Grack, Diodore, Sergio Tacchini, Fila. So we was wearing all the high-end shit at Southwestern. Southwestern, just like any high school in the city of Detroit back in those days, became a fashion show.
Right.
So you had to be the first one with it. So I was doing what I was doing in high school because I was around the certain things that generated money for us, So I was always hustling, whether I was selling bus tickets or, because back in those days we would get like 50, 60 bus tickets.
I remember.
And I would be flipping fucking bus tickets like all day long, or I would go inside the council office and steal hall passes, and I would sell hall passes for $1. So I was always flipping some, and then that turned into messing around with certain people. Now I'm doing other shit. Now we doing this in school, so I will always skip school and go down to a shoe store that was 2 doors down. I mean, about 2 blocks down, called Shoe Fair.
All right.
So whenever shoes came out, they would beep us. So I'm in school with a beeper.
What year was this?
This was 86, 87.
Oh, man.
So I had the big brick beeper. So then Southwestern High School, we had payphones. So I would call, somebody just beeped. Oh, yeah, this is Shoe Fair. We just got the new Adidas Top 10s and we just got the new Filas in. I'd be right there. So I would skip 3rd hour or 4th hour and go down there and then get the shoes and come back to school. And so I always been flipping and hustling shit ever since I can remember.
Oh man, that's cool. Now you graduate.
I didn't graduate.
You did not graduate.
Nope.
Okay, so
I was supposed to come out in 90, but we some things happened where I couldn't go to school anymore.
Oh man.
So
when they say things,
things happen. No,
yeah.
I didn't go to jail.
Okay.
Nothing happened, but things happen where things became more important.
Okay.
Than school at that time. Now I don't condone it. I don't say it, but this is my story. So I got a book coming out.
Okay.
And it's gonna be in the book.
All right.
So just be prepared for that. But yeah, no, it still surprises people to this day. And one of the things that I am gonna do by 2023, because I'm in a position now where I'm in front of a lot of youth and they need to hear everything. And I want to tell them the truth. So by 2023, I'm gonna study and I'm gonna get my GED.
Oh man, congratulations, man! Kudos
So
on
I'm gonna do that because
that.
I gotta say I need to complete that because one of my good friends just recently got his GED and he's with the world famous group New Edition, Michael Bivens.
Okay.
So me and Biv talk all the time, and he was like, Ty, I never graduated neither, so I had to go back and get something so when these kids see me, they can see that I at least completed the most important thing.
You being a real strong role model,
Exactly.
Not just a talker or a hypocrite.
Exactly. Even though I failed here, I still went back and I completed it at some type of level.
Showing that it's not too late.
Oh, it's never too late. It's never too late. It's never too late.
Yeah, no, that's a good thing, man. I think education is the key, man, and for you to actually open up and share that and tell the people, hey, I'm going back to school, man. And I don't want to take nothing away from this like I condone it, but you didn't finish high school, but you still became successful.
Man.
However, you might have individuals out there and they say, well, he didn't finish school, so why do I got to finish school?
And so that's why I need to go complete that task to show them, listen, I'm 1 in a million that struck fool's gold, that had to work maybe 50 times harder than somebody with a piece of paper did.
Right.
So a lot of doors never open for me because of this. So that's why I'm saying I need to go back and complete this just to say I did this, but I also want people to look at my story too and say, hey, he did it this way, but most importantly, he did it his way. But here go the obstacles. Because people all the time, they relish and they look at the success part.
Oh yeah, they don't look at what it took
They
to
don't
get
look
there.
or what it could have been.
Right.
So people look at me like I'm an overnight success, but they don't know this has been going on over several 100,000 nights.
Right. And it just so happened to have taken off at this particular point.
Just because of the lane and the road I had to travel,
right.
because I didn't have certain arsenals on me.
So they see, oh yeah, he got this. It's easy.
It's not,
but they forgot about them long nights. They forgot about them struggles. They forgot about them arguments, them fights.
Nobody
them
see the losses. Only people see the losses is us.
Right.
We keep it close to the chest. Like I don't. This may sound crazy. I don't give a fuck about the success right now, because I should have been here. But the politics and other things went on. It kept me to where when it finally happened, it's kind of like, oh well. Because now it's like, okay, what next? Because when it wasn't happening, it gave me a goal. Like, oh, I gotta get there. Right. I gotta get there. I gotta get there. Now that I'm here, it's like, for real, this is what it's all about. Okay, let me go find something else to make me hungry again.
Right.
Because we chase something, and when the chase is not there, the motivation goes away.
It goes. In everything. Relationships, even in your life. Business.
Right. Because it's like, when you started this, you want to be hungry. And that's why I tell everybody, embrace the journey. The journey is the best part of success. Not when you finally get to where you at, because that's where all the fake bullshit comes from. That's where the fairy tale shit come from. That's where the fake handshakes and smiles come from.
Yeah.
When you succeed.
Because now everybody wants to be there.
Everybody wants to help. That's my man. That's my guy. That's my baby. But I was nobody guy when I was coming up.
Right. But nobody knew you.
Nobody knew me but a couple.
Nobody had time for you. They didn't believe in you.
I was labeled at, oh yeah, that's old boy. That's so-and-so. Oh yeah, that's cute. Oh yeah, that's Ty. He doing his little thing.
Yeah.
So it's like I tell everybody, embrace the journey of this shit. Embrace it. And as long as it takes you, never give up and just learn from the journey. Because when you finally get to where you want to go, that's when it's not real no more.
Yeah, I definitely feel you on that, man. Because when I started the touring, the hustle, 24 hours in that truck, man. You seen that truck, you seen me, man. I didn't care if I had to sleep in that truck, man. It was long nights. I just wanted to be the best. I just wanted to be there, and I kept climbing. And it's like, the more I grew, the less hungrier I got to a degree. Because I felt like, I can take a break now. But you really can't take a break.
You can never take a break.
You cannot take a break. You think you can, but that one break can set you back so far because you're used to a certain hustle. You're used to grinding a certain type of way. So, and I'm back to it now. Staying hungry. Staying like I was.
All over again.
Yeah, because I got bigger bills. Cost of living is higher.
And that's the thing I try to tell people. When you become successful,
it comes with a lot more expenses.
A lot more invoices and a lot more bills.
Insurance and the business.
And then people figure like, for some strange reason, people think I'm in the NBA. And I don't mind it. For some strange reason, people think that I'm this millionaire.
Okay.
But that's been the stigma on me ever since I can remember. Because the way I dress, the way I appear, and things like that. I used to be the one with the jewelries on, the flashy watches, the fancy cars and all that. Yeah.
Stuff.
This was like the early 2000s.
Oh wow.
So this is after I had my stint where I learned the game at.
Okay.
I learned the game at right there on 7 Mile and Archdale at Strictly Sportswear.
Yeah. I was gonna ask about that too.
So that's where I started at. And until this day, I always give that place respect and props. I will always shout out Strictly Sportswear because that's where I learned the game at. If it wasn't a Strictly Sportswear, it wouldn't be a top MOPKINS.
So when you was Strictly, was that just a job when you went there? Did you just go there for a job?
It's ironic how that happened. Because at the time, my son's sister was dating the son of the owner of Strictly Sportswear.
Okay.
So he will always see me. And plus, I was always going to Strictly Sportswear anyway, buying, just like everybody else was, buying stuff. So he would say, man, you dress pretty smooth, man. I mean, Wait, and I see you in the store sometime. He said, man, the way you be putting shit together, man. He said, you ever thought about working in the fashion and doing this and doing that? And at the time, I was like, man, no, because I was still doing my stuff,
Right.
other things. And so he was like, man, just come up there and just give it a try, man. I promise, man, you can put some shit together. He said, man, you'll be a beast at this. And I'm like, all right, because whenever I would get dressed or whenever I would do stuff, so I've always been like this heavy guy. So they used to call me Heavy D because I can dance, I can do all that stuff. So, and I was always a cold dresser. So they would always be like, man, I need Heavy D to dress me, man. What can I buy, man? What shoes would you put with this outfit? Where would you do this at? And this is the part that I got from my dad, because my dad was always a clean dresser. Like my dad didn't believe going out raggedy or just saying like how we're throwing a hoodie and a sweatsuit and go to the store. Man, my dad would take a bath, because back in those days, they took baths. And he would get clean and groomed just to go to the corner store to play his lottery. Instead of just waking up, just put on some shorts or socks and just go to the store and run it. My dad had to be clean at all times. So my dad was the first person that I learned fashion from, but he didn't teach it to me.
You just seen him.
I just
seen how he was moving, how he was
From
dressing,
him
how he
wearing the
looked.
Meslin Gators and the suits and the Pierre Cardins and all that stuff. So I said, you know what? I'll give it a chance. So I started working at Strictly Sportswear, and that's when this little old feisty lady named Dorothy Hamlin, the owner of Strictly Sportswear, she took a liking to me because she saw my hustle. But I didn't start off, I tell everybody, I didn't start off at the top there. She was like, baby, you got to work your way inside of the store.
Inside the store.
Yeah,
Where you was at? Outside?
I started outside sweeping. She said, you got to earn your way in there.
Now, how old were you?
I was 23, 22 at the time. 22, 23. Yep, 22 because my son's mother was about to have my son. And then we had just got married. So I'm looking at, I was 23. So she was like, if you serious about this, I'm going to teach you. But you got to work your way inside. I ain't know what that mean at first. She was like, because at the time, even to this day, Strictly still own from corner to corner. They own a whole city block.
Oh, I never knew that.
From 7 Mile Archdale to 7 Mile Oakfield, they own that whole block. So all those businesses and all those brands, all those stores right there, they own the properties to that.
No stuff. Okay.
So she was like, you're going to start from corner to corner. Your job every day is to stay out here. And if any garbage come out, you're going to learn how to sweep, keep the outside first. She said, we got the inside. Don't worry about the inside. You're going to keep the outside clean. And then every day you will go out there and you're going to clean all the windows. And I'm like, man, this lady is tripping.
Yeah.
Because I'm already doing my stuff where I'm making money. And now you want me to do this? And so after about 3 weeks of doing it, I was never late, always on time, stayed later, made sure, it was clean. Back alleys, dumpsters, everything was clean. And so I worked my way inside the store. So you know what? I was the freshest lawn keeper ever. I'm out there in Gucci's cleaning windows and sweeping dirt and sweeping corners, sweeping cigarette butts and all that. And so she was like, okay, you earned your way in here. Come on. Now, in this part of it, you're gonna see all kind of stuff. So, like I said, during this time at Strictly Sportswear, whoever was the it person in Detroit, came there to shop. Whether it was East Side, West Side, Southwest, North End, whoever it was.
That was the hot spot.
That was the place to go. If you just wanted to buy socks, you always want that teal Strictly Sportswear bag. You want to show that you shopped at fucking Strictly. So I would learn how to put outfits together there. She was like, okay, so this is what you're going to do. Go through this store and put me together 5 outfits. Head to toe, shoes, socks, everything you want to do. And I'm going to lay it up here. And when people come in, we're going to see what they're going to say. So I would lay it out there, and then people start coming in, like, yo, who this shit for? Oh, no, I want this. Give me all this. And so that's how I learned how to coordinate and put things together, which I already knew anyway because I watched my dad and how he dressed, and I knew how I dressed. And so then they'll be like, fat boy, you put this together? You did this? Man, take my number down. When all this new shit come in, you start calling me. So now I had a customer book.
Okay.
Of who's who in the city. A who's who. So then I started getting cool with everybody. So then at that time, we would always go out afterwards. So you had like the hot little mom, the hole in the walls, like Strawberry Fields, Page One, or you would have like Soul Night downtown, and you would have these big events. And I mean, I used to didn't get to work until like noon or 1 o'clock. So I told her, I said, I went to Miss Hamlin, God rest her soul. I said, listen, we got to start opening up when the malls open up. I said, because we missing out on so much money not opening up at 10 a.m. I said, because you giving them a head start to beat you to get the money. And she was like, baby, you know motherfuckers don't get up to 12 o'clock. So she was like, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try it your way. She was like, I'm going to give you a week. And we don't make no money. You ain't going to make no money. I'm going to deduct your check for having me get up and do this shit.
Oh, man.
And so I was like, all right, let's do it. And so that first week, they grossed maybe 30% sales. Profit went up. Because they was like, man, it's about time y'all open up, man. I ain't trying to come in here when all this shit going on in here and all that. So,
Right.
So from 10 to 1, they was just as busy as they is from 7 to 10 at night. And she was like, who are you? She was like, because you came in here, you did this, you did everything. She was like, okay, now I'm going to make you a buyer. But first you're going to be a salesperson. So she wanted me to do that because everybody started giving me their number. And we had a pay phone at Strictly Sportswear. And we called it the bat phone. So when that phone rang, it was strictly for customers. Yo, what's tired? Let me talk to him. Yo, what came in? All right, I'm going to be there. Put me some shit up. I'm going to be there in 2 hours. Now this time, Guess outfits, Jabot outfits, Rockports, Coogee sweaters. For the ladies, Gigi Hunter. So we was killing them.
Man.
And I started doing marketing for them. So I had a friend that used to work for Def Jam. And we put together some promotional stuff where I was the first person in the city to ever bring Russell Simmons to Detroit. I was the first person to bring Master P here.
You know, Master P, that's my favorite rapper right there.
Well, I was the first person to bring. We shut 7 Mile down. And 7 Mile was already the hottest street. I mean, going neck to neck with Jefferson. Friday and Saturday,
yes.
Don't even think about coming on 7 Mile. Because it's going to take you 2 hours to get from Greenfield to Southfield.
Yes, I remember being that kid that couldn't wait.
Right.
Wanting my mom, just, can you drive down 7 Mile?
Right. It was everything. So, and I was the first person to ever bring DMX to Detroit. This when we brought Russell Simmons because they did a Survival of the Illest tour. Okay. So, it was him. It was Russell Simmons, Redman, Onyx, DMX, and Keith Murray. So, we did an in-store with them. We had maybe at least 700-800 people outside of Strictly, inside of Strictly, going crazy. This before they even knew who Swiss Beats was, because Swiss Beats was with them too, and that's how I met Swiss. And me and Swiss are still cool to this day. That's how I met DJ Envy, because DJ Envy was a model for this clothing company called Varsity. So I met DJ Envy through that. So these people who you see me take pictures with, I generally know them. I'm not one of the persons that take a picture of somebody with their arm around them. Oh, yeah, we working. Working. Took a picture with Jesus. Me and we working. You know what I'm saying? So
these are people you built good, real strong relationships with.
To this day. And so the story just goes on and on. We'll be here 5 days just for me telling you the Strictly days. But I owe them everything. And to this day, I give them a shout out. Shout out Kathy. Shout out to everybody at Strictly Sportswear. I love them. And I will always do whatever I can to help further them. Even though I have no ties to them, you never forget where you came from and what made you.
Man.
And I just want to let the viewers know, we didn't know we both was going to wear LA Dodger hats today.
I know it, right?
We pulled up. We was like.
Let me show.
Yeah, because we walked up. I was like, man, look at this. So I don't want nobody, I'm still Detroit, but I still match my shit.
I match with what I'm wearing.
There you go.
I match with what I'm wearing, man. I match what I'm wearing. So when you left from Strictly's, where did you go?
So this was 99. And I really have made a name for myself in that industry. And everybody was telling me, like, Ty, man, you better think about getting your own shit. And because you only can go so far at Strictly because it's a family-owned store, which is right. So I never was going to make partner at Strictly.
Mm-hmm.
I never was going to get what what the kids get, what they do that, because it's a family-owned store, which is only right. It's only right.
Right.
So I started my own store in 2000 called Hip Hop University, and that failed tremendously because I wanted to do something. Well, my partner at the time, he wanted to do something where it wasn't nowhere around nobody else.
What you mean?
Like no other stores around us.
Okay.
So we wanted to pick a location where nobody else was around.
And that just didn't work.
So no, it didn't. It failed. So I'm gonna tell you why. Because at this time, I'm gaining a little momentum, and so I'm like, yeah, man, I'm tired. Shit, we open this bitch up anyway. I don't care. We gonna bang. Because everybody telling me, go, I got your back. We gonna support you. We gonna do this and all that. So I said, what you came up with? Where we gonna open up at? This motherfucker said Pontiac. I said, what? So we opened up in Pontiac. And they're like, man, Ty, we fuck with you, man. We ain't about to drive to Pontiac and we go right down the street and get that. And reality kicked in where the cockiness wasn't there, where it's like, nigga, I'm tired to do whatever I want to do.
Right. You ain't a barber.
Not no more. So, and at this time, more stores was opening up. They're like, man, we get a guest outfit down the street. And so that became my first fail. Because for the first 6 months we was in Pontiac, we didn't make a dime.
Wow.
A dime.
Just giving away money.
And I was like, man, did I fuck up? Is it over with? That quick. The kid wonder, the boy wonder, ain't got it no more. And so that's when I said, fuck that. We going to the hood. We going back to the block.
The hood, where's that, man?
So I went to my old neighborhood. Right there on Ewald Circle in Oakman. Right there. Well, Ewald Circle in Illinois.
All right.
In that strip mall complex.
All right.
And so we went in there. And then during that time, that's when throwback jerseys really got hot. So we had to connect to go get Mitchell & Ness and get that going. So we was the first store in the city to sell Mitchell & Ness throwbacks. So now my partner at the time, Primus, he was also working at WJLB as a sales account. So he would do what he do. We would get commercials. We would sponsor parties. Like we did Monday Night Football back in the day at Maryland's on Monroe. So this is when the marketing thing came about with me. As far as like we called them back in the day, we called them street teams.
Right.
Where we had my man Rock. He would go out and hang up posters all through
I
the
remember
city.
those people, man.
Yeah. So we would market our store like it was a record label. So that was a good thing and it was a bad thing because now we getting our first encounters with break-ins. Now, granted, this is my neighborhood. I grew up 5 minutes away on Roseline. All I did is went to fucking Ewald Circle in Illinois. So
they not hearing that.
They don't give a fuck.
You got something hot over there and they want it.
Hot. Where now we was bringing all the entertainers when they would come to town. Jalen would come in. C Webb, all them people would come in. DC, everybody would come there and shop with us. So now we became the hot spot. We went from fucking cold to sizzling hot. Sizzling hot. Like the store is more popular than the fucking money we made for the store. So we would do the throwback jerseys and we would close at 8. And the neighborhood would open us back up around 1 o'clock. I couldn't sleep. So if from 1 to 4 in the morning, I was always nervous.
Oh, man.
And so I would go down to the police precinct and be like, yo, why is it always happening during this time? They was like, well, because whoever doing it knows that we only got 2 squad cars out at that time at night. And we got to patrol a whole west side.
Man, kill my business because y'all understaffed.
Took me out because the first couple of times insurance covered it. And I mean, we did the precaution. We went and got the big steel gate, put the poles in front of the store, because this was the first time I ever seen a car go through a store. Go through a store. Cleaned us out. It got to the point where when we did all that shit, they broke into the store next door to come through the drywall through the wall to break into our store. So now the store next door was a check and go, and then another store was a dollar store. They would break into the dollar store to come through the wall to break into our shit. Dang. Or come through the roof like Santa Claus.
How long did you let that happen for?
That happened for maybe like 2.5 years. Because after the third time, insurance drops you. They're like, listen, first couple of times we got you. But now it's like, y'all tripping. Nobody would cover us. Nobody. Because, when you go get property insurance, they got to pull up police records.
Right,
Things
they
like
got to
that.
pull
So
up all that stuff
we had all these records and all that stuff. They was like, nah. Or the premium was so high
that you couldn't afford
I couldn't afford it.
So it's almost like, why even have insurance? I can't afford it.
I can't afford it. So now
they gonna break in.
So now you gotta have people spend the night in the store, and that ain't safe. So what is like having a guy sitting in the store with a fucking Ruger,
just in case somebody
break in.
Then if you do cause damage, you going to jail because they're going to find a reason why it's just a property crime.
Exactly.
Why'd you have to take a life?
Why you had to take it? Right. So it's like, we're not looking at it like that so that we had to leave there, and then we opened up in Northland.
Okay.
And that was just, at this time, it was just like, when is enough is enough. I had people like Jalen. Everybody was coming around me. Like, dog, man, put this in your pocket. Don't put this in the store. Because your shit ain't about to last too much longer. Why are you still doing this shit? Because we were so far behind, we wasn't paying any bills. So it was like Northland was hitting us up like, yo, when y'all gonna pay the rent? I don't know. So Northland was that was the nail in the coffin. Because I just think that we held on to it too long where we didn't want to give up on the dream.
Mm-hmm.
Because we still had potential and we still had the thing, but we just didn't have the financial part to get it done.
And that means a lot. But I want to go back to what you just said.
Okay.
You were holding on to this dream.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You didn't even have the money to keep up with the dream.
Mm-hmm.
And behind the scenes, this is something that people don't see. They don't see that, hey, I'm out here smiling. I'm greeting you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm keeping a straight face.
Mm-hmm.
But behind closed doors, man, I'm struggling worse than you.
Listen, I had a mental breakdown because of that. I literally spent time in the mental institution because of that. Not like straitjacket type shit, but I had to go. Well, my mom, she saw me just being very depressed because at the time I was dealing with a failed business, failed relationship. I was not myself because then you become numb, and if anybody deal with anxiety and depression, when you fall that deep into a state like that, you just numb. You just fucking like a Spike Lee movie, how the person be here in the scene, just go by past them.
Right.
That's how you are. So with all that on me, and I'm like, damn, it's over because I'm not going back to doing street shit. And I don't know how to work on cars. I don't know how to build houses. I don't know how to do nothing else but this. And at the time, nobody really checking for me to be an employee anymore because I'm a boss and I'm doing this. So it's like, my life is over at fucking 30. What am I about to do? Again, I have no education. So it ain't like I can go into corporate America. So it's like, but I got all this fucking knowledge. I know how to build programs. I know how to do this. I know how to do that. So I had to humble myself and take a job working for somebody.
All right. What job
in
was
Northland?
That? Oh, okay.
At No Limits. And they acquired the spot that Hip Hop University was in. So now I go from being a owner of a spot
to working for that spot in the same spot.
There you go.
Now, because you had, pride.
Yeah.
How did you handle that? Like, how did you deal with that mentally? Did you just let it go? Hey, I need a job. It's whatever.
I need a job because I got a kid and I got to provide and I still have a lifestyle that I got to live.
Okay.
So I got out of the relationship. I got out of the business and I became an employee, which was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Okay.
Because for the first time in maybe 5 or 6 years, I had no pressure on me. But I still had people that fucked with me. I still had clientele. So I didn't have to worry about no invoices. I had to worry about no bills. Just go in there. And it was to the point where they thought I owned the place. Because like how you said, I went back to the old grind where I spent 10 or 12 hours a day here.
Mm-hmm.
and I fell in love with the business again.
And it boosted that motivation.
The
It boosted
motivation
that
came up even
motivation.
more.
That motivation.
So now I'm going back to the shows. I'm going back to the places and people seeing me again, and to the point where, you know, even though I wasn't the owner, but I still had a place where I was making great money at. And I built more relationships in the industry by doing that. And that when that ended, I transformed and started working at a sneaker store called Pufferez. That's in Ypsilanti, Michigan.
Yeah, they had a big following on the radio.
Yeah, yeah,
Puffer Reds.
yeah. And that's another black owned business.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people like him, like Eric Williams, don't get enough credit as he should, because he's been a black retail owner for over 40 years, since 1979. Because Puffer Red started off as a record store. And then he started transforming and started doing apparel and footwear and all that.
Yeah,
So
I never knew it was a record store. I
Oh,
always
yeah.
thought it was a clothing store.
No, it started as a music store, man. Very popular music store. And we teamed up, and I started working for him, and he started teaching me even more parts of the business that I didn't know, because now I'm finally with a company that sells sneakers. And this is during the time when sneakers started fucking banging, when people were standing outside waiting, and I never knew what the fuck this was for, over some fucking Jordans and things like that. So I learned the game from Eric Williams. He taught me as much as I could. And now my name is ringing nationally, not just here in Michigan, but nationally, because they're like, man, this guy got it, man. He got the look, he got the eye. This guy's probably the best buyer in the country. He's breaking lines. You know, he's bringing new product to the industry. And that caught the eye of the people over at Mr. Allen's. And so when that happened, I would get the phone call every now and then. Hey, you know, this is Jacob Bishop. You know, we trying to transform Mr. Allen's into an elite store. Because, you know, when you hear Mr. Allen's, 29 to 50, they was like the laughing stock of retail. But they was making so much fucking money off that 29 or 2 for 50.
Because it was affordable to certain. It was affordable to certain families.
So they was buying very low, selling very high.
Mm-hmm.
So 29 to 50 was high for them. But then during that stage, that's when you had the Burlingtons, the K&Gs, the Foreman Mills came in.
About what year was this?
This was 2014.
Hold on, 2014. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to put a timeline together as we go on with this. Mm-hmm. Okay, carry on.
So this was 2014. So now this is when all these people started adapting that wholesale retail thing. Like buy cheap, stack high, and watch them fly. So Mr. Allen's revenue wasn't like how it was anymore. So they knew they needed to change. They needed to come up to current days, because one thing about some of these companies, especially sneaker companies, they want your store to look a certain way because they want you to appeal to a certain consumer. So Mr. Allen's had to change their whole image, had to change their whole look. And so people in the industry was like, listen, y'all need to go after Ty. You need to bring Ty over here, because he can help you rebrand. He can help you reimage, because everywhere I went, I left people better than I found them, except myself. So if that makes sense. So because everywhere I went, I gave my all, and I made everywhere I went a powerhouse. So even to this day, when I meet people, you know what they say? Hey, man, you still up at Strictly? I ain't been at Strictly over 21 years. And I'm like, where the fuck have you been for 21 years thinking I'm still at Strictly? Do you know how much shit I done? And I be like, nah, I ain't there no more, man. Oh, okay, bet, man, because I used to always come fuck with you up there at Strictly, man. I was going to come up there and holler at you. To this day. So that's how memorable I leave an impression on people. Or they still think I'm at Puffer Reds. Or they still think, and I haven't been in Mr. Allen's in 3 years, and they still think I'm still there. So they called me a couple of times, and I turned it down. Because where I was at Puffer Reds, I was very comfortable. I didn't have to have nobody on my back. I wasn't have nobody watching my every fucking move. I came and go as I pleased.
Okay.
Long as I made sure everything was done. And I was like, why would I give this up to go do that? and go fucking try to rebrand the wheel
Again.
again. So we would have little meetings, we would talk, and he came to me and he was like, listen, this is what we can do. Bam. And when I saw it, I was like, damn, for real? I was like, all right, let me think about it, because now it's real, because the zeros and the commas are starting to add up and starting to match now. And I'm like, okay, well, what would you need me to do? I said, because I'm not leaving here to go work on somebody's sales floor. I'm not about to go get a 10.5 for nobody else ever again, unless it's my own store. I'm not about to fold pants. I'm not about to fucking do all this shit again. I'm not about to become a worker.
Right.
Because where I was at, I wasn't doing none of that. I had my own little spot. So they was like, no. We want you to be the brand ambassador. And we want you to be in charge of buying. You don't have to be the buyer, but I need you to overlook everything that the buyers are buying and make sure that we're turning this and we're making this how it is. So by me joining Mr. Allen's, at this time, I had all my connections with the radio. Shout out Big Greg, Dr. Darius, Spud, all these guys. So they made like a big ass announcement, because I said, you know what? If I go here, I'm going to do this shit big. And this is when I started doing all the breaking news type shit, because now social media is at an all-time high now, 2014. That's when Instagram really started popping. Then Facebook, because I was Facebook to death. So then Instagram. So then I would be like, hey, I like to thank Puffer Reds, but I decided to make a change, and, stay tuned, make a big announcement where I'm going to go next. And at the time when I was doing Mr. Allen's, I had 2 other stores approach me about doing the same shit too, but these are 2 out-of-state stores. And I'm like, damn, what the fuck? Because everybody's like, yo, we was told you the guy to go get. So now I went from one store where it was just one store, it was 2 stores. Now I got offers from stores that have fucking 10 to 15 to 25 stores. So I thought about it, and I chose Mr. Allen's because I didn't want to leave Detroit. So at the time when I went to Mr. Allen's, they had 8 stores. When I left Mr. Allen's, when Mr. Allen's was acquired in 2019, they had 30 stores. So in 5 years, we opened up over 20 stores, 21 stores, 22 stores, just by the guidance and the product placement and the thing that I was doing. And people had a joke about it, because they said, well, damn, Todd took Mr. Allen's from 29.2 for 50 to fucking 292 for 500, because we had the higher end shit coming in now. And we had it to go-to spot.
Right, because Mr. Allen's became a cool spot to get them outfits. You ain't just have just the regular basic stuff like you said.
All I did was took my formula over there. I took the blueprint, I plugged and play over there. And that's what I did. So then in 2014, 15, when I first joined there, they was like, Ty, we want you to do something that represents you. What can you do where you can do your own brand? How we can get you going? And I said, well, I have this relationship with Starter. And the reason how I got the relationship with Starter was I was cool with this lady. Her name is April Walker. And April Walker had a clothing line. She still does, which she revamped it and is very nice now. She had a clothing line called Walker Wear, like her last name, and then Walker Wear before Rocker Wear and all that stuff. And at the time, she had on this old school ass Detroit Lions Beverly Hills Cop jacket. And she posted it on Facebook.
Now we getting somewhere.
Now this is when the process. Now this is when.
Yeah.
This is when the shit about to get real. So, I hit her up. April, where you get that jacket from? I want to buy it, because if anybody know me, they know I'm a big Lions fan. I suffer so much. I'm the laughing stock of everybody because they know you be loyal to the Lions. So I hit her up and I said, yo, April, I need one of those jackets. Where can I buy one at? Because I didn't see them nowhere. She's like, oh, you like this? What size you want? I'll have Carl send you one. I'm like, Carl, who's Carl? And so she was like, well, the guy who makes this, his name is Carl Banks. I'm like, Carl Banks. I said, why that name sound familiar? And I was like, damn. And so she was like, yeah, he just relaunched in Starter. He got some things going on. So 3 days later, I get the jacket in the mail. And with a thank you note, thank you for inquiring about it and all that stuff. Hey, feel free to contact me anytime.
Now this is not out to the public yet.
No, not at all.
Okay.
This is the beginning. This is the beginning of everything that's happening to this day.
Yeah.
2014. So I get the card, I get the jacket, and I called him. I said, "Yo, man, thanks a lot." He said, "I said, can I ask you a question? Are you Carl Banks that used to play for the New York Giants? You from Flint, right?" He started laughing. He was like, "Yeah, that's me." I said, "What do you do for starter?" And he was like, "Well, I'm the president. I make stuff happen. We just now revamped starter and all that." He said, "Why?" He said, "Why?" He said, "What do you do?" And I told him what I'm doing. And he was like, "Well, do you got any interest in starter?" I'm like, "Do I got any interest in starter? Man, let me tell you this." And we started laughing, and then we come to find out we know some of the same common people.
Okay.
Because Flint and Detroit is cousins.
Pretty much.
We share the same shit. So we started talking. He was like, "Well, let me tell you this. What would you want to do?" And I said, "Well, the first, I want to do SMUs. So SMUs is special makeups. That's what that means."
Okay.
I said, "I want to bring back starter in Detroit." And he was like, "Yeah." He said, "You know what? We need that market." He's like, "Right now, we're just pretty much New York." And so I was like, "Well, what can you do?" He said, "Well, if you want to do a minimum, it's this many pieces you have to do for special makeup." And I said, "Damn." I said, "All right, fuck it. Let's do it." So then I go to people at Mr. Allen's. I'm like, "Yo, y'all want me to do something creative? We're going to bring back starter jackets." And just like everybody, starter jackets? We just left the discount stuff, Ty. And I was like, no, hear me out, please, please. They're like, "Oh, no, I don't know, Ty." And I said, "Listen, believe me, let's invest this money over here, and I'm going to do 3 starter jackets." And they was like, "Well, tell us more about it." I said, "Okay, you know how everybody go crazy over sneakers, how they go crazy over release dates for sneakers." I said, "I'm going to put a release date on the jacket." They was like, "Are you fucking, did we fuck up by bringing you here?" And I'm like, and they was like, okay, let's do it. Cause they had to invest a pretty penny to do this. And I said, this is what else I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put my name in the jacket too. What? You gonna do what?
Yeah. Now we getting there.
I said, just wait. They was like, "You're gonna put," I said, "Not only am I gonna put my name, I'm gonna put your name in it too. You're gonna say Ty Mopkins, Mr. Allen's exclusive." And that's they was like, "Well, how about saying Mr. Allen's Ty Mopkins exclusive?" I'm like, "It's gonna say Ty Mopkins, Mr. Allen's. You can't win this one. Trust me." So you sure can't say Mr. Allen's Ty Mopkins. No, because I'm the creator of the jacket,
Right.
and it's sold exclusively here. Okay. But I think Mr. Allen's Ty Mopkins is a lot better. And I'm like, "Nah, we're gonna do it this way." So I explained my situation to starter. And even they was like, "You gonna put a release?" I said, "Listen, just let me do this. If it don't work, just send everything at once. Let's do it this way." Now, during this time, I'm cool with a lot of the Lions. I'm cool with Nate Burleson. I'm cool with Calvin Johnson. And I'm cool with Louis Delmas and a lot of people that play for the Lions, Chris Houston and all them. I said, "This is what I'm gonna do. Make sure I get these jackets at least 3 weeks early before I announce the release date." So I get the jackets in. And I'm looking at all these fucking Detroit Lions jackets. And granted, we not winning still. It's still the fucking Lions, right? So I had to tell an emotional story to get the goosebumps going. I didn't really promote the Lions. I promoted starter. Because during that time, everybody had a story about starter.
Yeah.
Everybody has a starter story. Either you got robbed for one.
That's what my first story was going to be.
And we're going to touch on that story as well, too. Because I'm going to tell you something about that, too. So either, because starter was showing that you had money. And being in Detroit, we always showcase our shit. So if you show that starter on the sleeve, somebody can tell you what their uncle wore, what their best friend had on, or how we was killing it when we used to have the Georgetown jackets, or when we had the Celtics or the Yankees.
Uh-huh.
So I played off of the starter emotion. Just so happened to be a Detroit Lions jacket. So when I got him in, I hit up Nate, I hit up Calvin. "Yo, I'm gonna send y'all some jackets. Can y'all take a picture in them?" "Oh yeah, no problem. I got you." Because during that time, they wanted me to hold sneakers for them. because they ain't never had time, and they ain't about to stand no fucking line for no fucking Jordans or none of that stuff. So I will hold sneakers for them, which I can say I can do it now. Back in days, I couldn't say you can do it because you couldn't do it. Nike would get mad, but fuck them. So we did it. And they would come in the store and they would have like 15, 20 pair of shoes and they would just come in and cash out. So it would always mean something to the store owners to see these people in their stores.
Right.
Because they wouldn't step foot in there.
For no other reason.
No other reason but Ty. Or when an entertainer come to town, or when DJ Envy come to town, or DJ Envy will call me and be like, hey, I got such and such from New York, man. You doing a show in Detroit. You want to come by the store and get fresh. Can you put some up for him? Got him. Now they would come to the store. So I said, I'm about to put the jacket, I'm about to put a release date on this. And so I sent the jackets to Nate and Calvin. They took pictures in them in the locker room, doing this, doing that. Now, once again, this is when social media is bubbling. Everybody in the world is on Instagram now.
Yeah.
Everybody. I said, so when I tag you, just shout me back out on your page. Okay, yeah, okay, cool. Because back in the day, that's when somebody be like, hey, man, shout me out. Hey, man, tell people to start following me. And so I was like, all right, bet, fuck it, let's do it. So then I got the jackets, got the pictures back from them, showed them to Mr. Allen's, and then they was like, oh, my God, how did you do this? I said, just wait. So now I post a picture of the jacket. I'll be like, hey, breaking news. Big. I was always big on putting the fucking sirens on my page saying breaking news because then I get people attention.
It do.
Yo, I'm bringing back Starter. Oh, man. Oh, you tripping. Oh, man, Calvin got that bitch on. I need it. The first motherfucker to reply, I need it, underneath my status, I knew I had him.
Who's that?
No, I'm just saying in general.
The first person, just in general. Okay.
I need that bitch now. And now I'm like, bet. Boom. Nigga, I give you $500 for that bitch right now because I won't be the first one with it. It's over. Bingo.
It's over.
Got him. So now people seeing these comments that other people saying, no, fuck that, I'm about to call you right now. Ty, man, no, man, make sure I'm the first one with that bitch.
It's a trickle-down effect now.
Trickle down, now this bitch is banging.
It's a trick, because when I seen it, I was like, man, I wonder where first of all, I didn't even know it was a Starter jacket.
Right.
I just seen it.
Right.
Nope, let me take that back.
Right.
Yeah, it was the Lions jersey.
Yeah.
It was the Eddie Murphy. It was the Eddie Murphy Beverly Hills jacket.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I wish I could have found that jacket, but I didn't even know they were coming out with them. It was just like, man, that would be so cold if I had that jacket, man.
So now I got people calling me because, and I don't want people who's watching this thinking that's the formula. Because like I tell everybody, every once in a while you strike fool's gold.
Yeah.
Now I don't want to see everybody start putting release dates on shit. And if it don't work, you're disappointed.
It just happened. It was your gamble. It was your gamble.
It worked for me because I had key assets in line to help it. Because now I would go to Hot 107.5 and get on the radio with Big Greg or DJ BJ, or go to FM 98 and get on the phone or get on the air with Dr. Darius. Now we talking about this because this is during the time when people still listen to the radio.
Mm-hmm.
XM radio wasn't hot. We wasn't satellite radio where we had other distractions. So they talking about it. Oh my God, y'all got to see this jacket. We got Ty MOPKINS in the house. Blah, 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 blah. And so we still a week out of release date. Phones going crazy. They was like, the managers emailing corporate, we're getting so many phone calls for this jacket. Can we just go on and just sell it? Can we just sell it? No, stick to the dates. People hitting me up. So your baby can't even get the jacket, huh? Just how you gonna do your mans? I'm gonna give you $500 for the punk ass jacket. Bet, I got you. So we did let a couple go early because I wanted it to go early. Key people who was like the it people in the city,
right? Because you need that hype.
Look what I just caught for my man. We on wait in line for shit. Oh hell no! How he get it? I need it. I low key sold half of them under the radar before the release date, just to have the bragging rights for people to say, I got it first. I got it. Shout out to my nigga Ty. He made sure I got it. He made sure his baby tight. Release date came. We only released at 3 locations. We had a line wrapped around the building at every location. People started putting their chairs out the night before. Like it was a fucking Jordan. And I said, the only thing I need now is for this bitch to sell out, and I need people to be mad. I need them to be mad.
Yeah, I was one of those mad ones.
And if you mad, the next one I drop, you for damn sure ain't gonna miss it. And I was like, I need him to be mad. Man, who the fuck this motherfucker think he is? Michael Jordan got us out here. Hell yeah, I am Jordan. I jumped over the jump man that day.
Yeah.
Them bitches sold out, made the news.
It did.
Made the news. ESPN did a story about it. They was like, is Starter back? Because in Detroit, they went crazy over this. And that's when Carl Banks from Starter called me. It was like, my phone is blowing up from retailers wanting to buy Starter. What the fuck did you do? Then after that, I dropped the Red Wing jacket. Then I dropped the Tiger jacket. Then I waited, and I said, okay, that's it for this year. Now, next year, I'm dropping everything. I'm dropping the Piston jacket. I'm doing this. So I dropped the Piston jacket. I'm cool with Isaiah. Isaiah took a picture in it. Did a collaboration with Fila. Did a Grant Hill. Had Grant Hill in it. It's a story about Grant Hill I'm going to talk about. Not today, but it's going to be in the book. Now, that was one of the lessons I had to learn. We'll talk about it off the air.
Yeah.
But they got to buy the book to hear this part.
Okay.
So, and that's when all this shit started bang, 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 bang. Now Starter is like, yo, we got to lock you up. Because now everybody want the Ty Mopkins stuff. And I was like, okay, bet. Now I'm really about to pull the trigger on this. Because my name was on the inside of the jacket.
Yeah.
So I came up with a cliche. If it ain't a Ty Mopkins starter, your ass still on the bench.
You got to make it work.
And it went crazy. Like, I mean, you talked earlier about how you named it Lavish.
Right.
So it's like, I said, check the inside. I said, if it ain't got the Ty Mopkins in there, you're not a starter. Your ass still on the bench. So I would have people walk up to me. Look, I'm starting, nigga. I'm starting. I ain't on the bench. Even to this day, they do it. Or people tagging me when they buy it. Yo, somebody tag Ty. Tell them I'm not on the bench. So that shit right there, man, that took a life of its own. And 7 years later, leads us to this moment that I don't know if you got any sound effects here, like sirens or bells and all that.
I got something. Let's see here. Let's go.
Cause this is the first time it's ever been announced.
What we got? Let's hear the announcement.
That as of last Thursday, I signed my deal. So I'm going to be the creative director. I get to form my own team. And I get to go into the vault where I'm going to release starter shoes now. But not even that. I'm taking over as creative director, brand ambassador, marketing for the iconic sneaker company Pony and Etonics. So all that just gelled in to where now everything I ever wanted, now I can do. So you got a guy from the west side of Detroit, the lowest of the lows, Grand River and Oakman, Roseline, is in charge and have access to 3 sneaker companies. I get to create my own shit. That's the highest you can get in a sneaker company. To be creative director, that means I say what comes out. I say how the story is told. I say who gets it and who don't. And I wanted to do these 3 iconic brands because in Detroit, before the Adidas top 10s, we used to always wear ponies and say pony down. Etonic was always that, no pun intended, that lavish luxury sneaker company. So I just inked the deal for that. But most importantly, if people who follow me notice, I was hinting that I may have to leave Detroit and move to New York. Because when they give you that amount of money and they give you that responsibility, they want to see your ass in the office.
That's right.
They want to make sure, hey, is this motherfucker in here breathing today? Because we giving this motherfucker a pretty penny now. So I also negotiated in my contract to where I don't have to leave. They're gonna build me a Detroit office. They're gonna build me a Detroit showroom. They're gonna do all that. And that was more important to me because I wanted to show people that you don't have to leave Detroit to be successful. And I wanted to be that first motherfucker on the board where other people can follow and they can build their Detroit office here as well too for corporate America. Because everything I've ever done has always been about this city. And to touch on something that we talked about earlier, as a kid, I used to draw shoes. I used to draw jackets. I used to draw it as a kid. And the first person I used to show it to was my mom. And my mom was, I didn't have a mother, I had a mama.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a total difference. My mom was the first one to ever believe in me. My mom was the first person I ever showed these drawings to. And she'd be like, baby, you can do whatever you want to. You got it. Yeah, that's nice. And I didn't celebrate Thursday as I should because the one person who I needed to call and say we did it, I couldn't call no more. Because last year was the worst year of my life. I lost both my mother and my father. And I know how you feel when you talk about your grandfather. And
Correct.
I watched your stories. And I watched your journeys with your grandfather. And it's like, shit is not as sweet no more. It was just like a normal day. But I just did the biggest thing in my fucking life. The biggest thing in my life. And the one, everybody else is happy for me, but I'm not really happy with it. Because the one person that I had to call, that I wanted to call, I couldn't call anymore. If she just would have held on. I lost my mom in November of last year. So she died of cirrhosis of the liver. But her condition was called NASH, N-A-S, non-alcohol cirrhosis. Because my mom never had a drink in her life.
Okay.
But she developed that by eating fatty foods, and which in return gave her a fatty liver. So that was bittersweet because it was something I've always wanted. And it's a big deal.
Yeah, it's definitely a big
It's a
deal.
big deal. Because now I'm really in corporate America at the highest level you can go to. So now guess what? My competition is Nike and Adidas now. Now I got to go after their throats.
Yeah. Well, first I want to say congratulations on the announcement. You know, congratulations on the deal. Congratulations on all that. But
and this is the first place I ever said it.
On the Lavish T. Williams show.
Sorry, I know I was supposed to do Breakfast Club, but we came lavish first. Detroit had to get the exclusive.
Right.
I'm sorry, Nori. I'm sorry, EFN. I know we're supposed to talk about this on Drink Champs and things like that, but I had to come to Lavish. We had to talk about it on Lavish.
Yes, sir.
I ain't even posted this shit on my social media outlets yet, but I wanted to have something for you.
Yeah,
because I want to see you take this and grow with this as well too.
No, I appreciate that, man, and thanks. Now I want to ask you this, man, because you just talk about the competitors, man, and I cannot leave this out.
Okay,
let's talk about these top 10s and Adidas. You know, speak on the Adidas thing. Didn't you bring the Adidas back to Detroit?
Yeah,
you brought them back. Then I want to talk about the bad boy Adidas.
Oh,
I gotta talk about that, man. You know what I'm saying? But first,
is there a commercial break in this? No, I'm playing.
You know, first I want to I want to speak on the whole Adidas thing.
Right.
Me, myself, going back to the 90s.
Right.
In high school for me, to wear the Adidas, for me to have the Concords or the top 10s, those were the shoes to have. The shell toes, they was pretty cool, but you know they
made East Coast New York.
Yeah, because for me, they was cool just because they were shell toes, but they made my feet look too big.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? But when it came down to the top 10s, when it came down to the Concords, those was my shoes. Yeah. They're still my shoes now, man. You know, the Adidas top 10s. I got a lot of Adidas top 10s, man. So when they brought them back, I grabbed a lot of them, man. How did that whole Adidas thing come? And you see, I'm getting geeked up. I'm getting amped up talking about the Adidas right now, man. Before you kill me, before you kill the pride later about the Adidas stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about how the Adidas thing came back, man.
Well, that's gonna be another story that's in the book.
Oh man!
But we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk a little bit about it. We're gonna talk a little bit about it because that shit got ugly. Like to the point I was about to get on the plane. And
you wasn't about to do no Ice Cube stuff, were you?
Yes. So for years, I used to go to Adidas headquarters in Portland, and I used to always be like, "Listen, man, this is what Detroit needs." And they would always look at us as like little nigga, like little nigga, go on. We moving these superstars. We moving these fucking Samoas. We selling this other shit. That's just a little piece of the pie. Detroit, okay, whatever. But it took for people that work for Adidas to tell me on Google search, Adidas is searched the most in Detroit out of every city in the world. Every city in the world. And I had to bring this up. I'm like, well, if y'all see this shit, why you not giving us what we want?
Right.
I said, I get it. If we got to support that, we don't give a fuck about supporting that. But give the people what they want. I came up in the era with YBI. So it was nothing for me to see top 10s and campaign hats and Adidas suits. That was the first sign of success as a kid. Like the police, a policeman, a fireman, them wasn't my first role models. Butch Jones, Kurt McGirt, these were my first role models. YBI was my first role models because they had Adidas head to toe.
That's what we admired. They were cool.
They was it.
Man.
So we saw that and we thought that's how you win. Every day got fresh top 10s coming to the ice cream truck, buying the ice cream truck out for the kids in the community. Driving Benzes, driving BMWs.
Yeah.
Listening to Paid in Full, Eric B. and Rakim. We thought that shit was the life. Like, I want to be a dope dealer.
I know, man. I'm thinking back in my childhood, and I was the little guy.
Right.
Like a little guy looking at my cousins and stuff, man.
You want me to be a what? I'm not about to be no fucking doctor or no lawyer or no policeman. I'm about to be YBI.
They got a beeper.
Right.
My people tell me only doctors and lawyers got a beeper, but they got beepers.
And they making more money than fucking doctors and lawyers and all them motherfuckers.
With a cell phone. Man,
I'm like,
you bringing memories back,
right.
man.
Oh, fuck that. I'm YBI.
Shoot.
So when I would tell these stories to Adidas, yeah, okay. All right, little nigga. All right. Basically, that's how I felt. That's how they was little nigga me. Like, little nigga, all right, little nigga. Go on.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, listen, just try it. Just fucking try it. What are y'all gonna lose? I said, and now I'm at Mr. Allen's. So now I got the buying power. Before you had to do minimums. And where I was at, we didn't have the buying power. But now I'm at Mr. Allen's that got fucking 18, 20 doors. So now we got the buying power to do our own shit. So I pitched it to Mr. Allen's. They was like, cool, let's get it done. And then what helped it out too is that it was an anniversary for it, the 35th anniversary for it. And I was like, listen, it just makes for a great story. Let's do it. And they was like, well, where you want to do the event at? I said, it got to be somewhere where we can get this shit going. I said, so let's do it this way. Let's create a box. Let's do this. And I got my man, Rick Williams from Distinct Flight. He did the photography for it. And we created a dope ass box with all the street signs on the box. And if you open the box up, the inside of the box was made out of campaign hat. And then we had the ribbon, that was the ribbon that went around the campaign hat, around the shoes to hold it. And it had 40th anniversary on it. And I think we did maybe 1,500 pair. Because I didn't have a lot of pullback from this because of what I did with Starter. Okay. And Mr. Allen was making a lot of money off of Starter. Mr. Allen was making a lot of money off of Starter. I would get bonuses and a percentage of that, but Mr. Allen was making a lot of money off Starter. And so they was like, okay, we'll give it a try, Ty. Yeah. Whatever you want to do, let's do it. So then I started marketing that shit. Same thing. Had a line outside the door. People couldn't believe what they could. This is the first time the top 10 was back in its original form.
Correct.
With the suede around the toe, the high ankle, not as much fat around the ankle, the pad. And this was as close as I can get it to be the original top 10. And the city went crazy again.
They went crazy, man.
And so then after they saw that, that's when my name even boosted even more because I'm just not jackets now. I'm shoes. I'm doing this. I did a collab with Fila where I did the original Fila shoe in green gator for 313 Day. I did that. That sold out. So now I'm making my noise in jackets and fucking sneakers. So that came to a point where we was about to do another one where I was about to do a Bad Boys jacket with Starter.
Okay.
And then I was going to do the Bad Boy Top 10. So this was 2019. So I'm going to try to tell a little bit of it without giving it away.
Mm-hmm.
This was also during a time where Mr. Allen's was being bought, because it was a company coming in looking at Mr. Allen's, and because Mr. Allen's was making noise in the industry. It wasn't just a local store no more. It was like, y'all need to, Nike and Adidas, now they would set the blueprint up for other retailers, but y'all need to be more like Mr. Allen's. Look what they did. Look what this. Look what that. Look what that. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. And at first, I got offended because I was like, Mr. Allen, Ty did that. Mr. Allen didn't do that. But I had to take a piece of humble pie and be like, well, yeah, Mr. Allen did that because I was an employee and they paid me to do that.
Right.
So it was like, you know what? And it took somebody to tell me that. They were like, Ty, they're going to get top billing because you're just an employee. And I had to sit back, even though you did do that.
You did that.
But they paid you to do that.
You did a job.
And you can't be too mad because not another company would have allowed you to do the shit that you did to help brand your name as well, too. Because I was always have Ty MOPKINS, Mr. Allen's. Other companies have been like, oh, we don't give a... No, that shit Mr. Allen's and that's it. Because we paid Ty MOPKINS to do this. But Mr. Allen's gave me an opportunity to brand my name as well.
Yeah, and it was a big thing. It was a big deal.
It was a big thing. So I'm never mad at Mr. Allen's. So when they sold the company that came in and bought them, or who they are now, they offered me a position to stay. But during this time, I'll be honest with you, I was on my way out anyway because my vision was bigger and I wanted to do more stuff with Starter.
Okay.
And so I was pretty much on my way out because, once again, I capped. I couldn't go no higher. They wasn't going to give me no more money. And once again, it's a family business. They weren't going to give me a percentage of sales. They weren't going to give me ownership. And so I said, well, let me do this with corporate America now. Let me enlarge my territory with Starter. Because Starter was like, Ty, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do that. Carl Banks was like, you need to do this, let's get you here. And I'm going to make sure whatever you need, you're going to get. And I'm like, bet. So then I started ghostwriting for other stores with Starter. And then the other stores would take care of me too, because I didn't want it to be in competition with what I was doing with Mr. Allen. So I would ghostwrite shit. And that's when I found out ghostwriting pays more than fucking being seen.
Okay, now when you say ghostwriting as far as fashion.
Ghostwriting means I would go in there and design it for them. And all they had to do was put their logo in the jacket. So it wouldn't say Ty MOPKINS. It would say Blase Splee.
Okay.
With their patch in there. And they was having the same success because I would teach them how to do this and I would give them the blueprint. And I'm not saying stores in the city. I'm talking about stores like in San Francisco, stores in Indianapolis, stores in New York, stores in LA that took the same formula that I created. I just gave it to them and they just gave me a check for it. So that's what I mean. Ghostwriter, I would design it for them and all that and tell them how to tell the story.
Okay.
So that's what I meant by ghostwriting. I was like, well, damn, this pays just as much as if I really created it. And I ain't really had the pressure of if it's sell or not. I knew it would sell because I gave him the blueprint. So that led to Mr. Allen's being acquired. And the company that bought them, they wanted me to stay. Bad, and offer me damn near double that I was doing with Mr. Allen's.
Double.
And I was killing it at Mr. Allen. So they was like, well, the thing is, we're closing this office. We don't need a Detroit office. And our corporate headquarters is in Philadelphia. So you have to move to Philadelphia. And I'm not moving to Philadelphia. Nothing against Philly. I love Philly. But I'm once again,
this is home.
This home. I live. I was born here. I was raised here. And when it's time for the Lord to come get me, I'm gonna be buried here. So that's my three morals that I stand on. And at the time, my wife's father was sick, and my mom was sick. My mom been sick for years, so it's no way I could leave here and then get a call where I couldn't get to them in 20 or 30 minutes. Because that's my thing. I want to be around my family and my loved ones at least in a 30 to 40-minute radius where I can get to you at. Unless I'm out of town on vacation, unless I'm doing other shit. But if I'm here, I want to be able to get to you.
Yeah.
You see, so I turned that down. And what really made me turn it down too, they wanted me to give up what I was doing with Starter.
No, you can't do
I
that.
couldn't do that.
You couldn't do
even
that.
for triple. Because it's like now here it is again. I gotta live somebody else's dream. They get theirs when I'm on the verge of making my shit happen with
Right.
my dreams.
Yeah.
So I took a chance with that. And like I said, just until I made the announcement a few seconds ago, for 3 years, I was just doing shit with Starter. That's it. With the 313 day collection, with the Black History Month collection, with the stuff that we do with the collaborations and I ghostwrite shit and do things like that. So when the opportunity came to do the footwear, it was just a match made in heaven. And it's just, we talked about something off the air before we came on about how sometimes doors started opening when people pass.
Yep.
And that's what I feel like is happening now. So my dad died February last year. He had a heart attack. And I took that on the chin. But my mom's death devastated me to the point where I didn't think I was going to be the same no more. Mentally, physically, all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do suffer from anxiety and I do suffer from bouts of depression where my weight fluctuated. So in 2020, when the pandemic hit, like with most people, we didn't know what the fuck was going on. We thought it was the end of the world. So my anxiety kicked in where I lost 50 pounds. But in 2021, with my dad's death and watching my mom deteriorate, my depression went up. So that I gained all the fucking weight back that I lost. So just by watching her, and it's like, just recently, my shit was at a standstill. Like, once again, how we talk about how people see the finished product, but don't know what's going on behind it.
Right.
So I still, even though people thought I was winning, I still was struggling because I still had a certain lifestyle that we was used to living, but we only had one avenue of income coming in. So it was like, damn. And I couldn't do nothing else because my mom was sick. So I had to be hands-on with my mom, like hands-on with her. And when she passed, it just seemed like all revenue and avenue opened up. It's like she went up there and went straight to work. Like, listen, you bullshit. My son need this. My son, let me go do this. And that's when doors started opening up for me. And I was like, wow, mama, you went up there and went to work.
Mm-hmm.
Just like how you said sometimes when you lose something and like it seems weird.
But you win.
But you win at a faster pace. Because now we have angels that went up there and went to work. My dad might have been up there bullshitting. I don't know. My dad probably went up there and found some old friends he used to hang out with. And like, oh yeah, Ronnie cool. He gonna get it. My mom went up there and went, nah, my baby.
No, he ain't straight.
Because because my mom know that I now have the burden of taking care of my family, which is my sister, my niece, my nephew, my cousins, and all that. Because she was the godfather, and if we and you know about the Godfather movie, right?
Right.
So she was the head godfather. Everybody went to her, and under the table she went to me to give it to everybody. I used to always be mad at her, like, Mama, why are you doing so much for people? Like, God, you getting it from me. It ain't even coming from you.
Right. It is killing me,
it's
low-key.
Killing me. But she'd be like, give me the money.
And how can you tell your mother no?
I'll never tell her no.
Right.
And so let me touch on this right quick. Let me touch on this because I said we're going to touch back on the burial part, right?
All right.
Okay. And this is some shit that really hasn't been brought to light. And this is some sad shit. When we went, my mom wanted to be buried right there on Plymouth at Detroit Memorial. I mean,
Telegraph.
Yeah, Plymouth Telegraph right there. So Detroit Memorial West, because they got the East too.
Right.
So, and I didn't know it neither until me and my wife went there to go make arrangements for her for a burial. That now is Black owned. So this is some shit. This is some shit I'm about to tell you.
Okay, yeah, because I'm listening. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing.
No, it's very bad. It's very bad and sad. It's very bad and sad. So when we making these arrangements, me and my wife is there. We making arrangements, and trying to put her in a nice spot because, once again, cemeteries is a business. You pay for land. You pay for prime property.
Right.
Which I never knew that.
Yeah, you do.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
So
every cemetery got a certain spot.
Prime
The
location,
top of the cream of the crop,
yes,
and the bottom of the barrel.
like, hey, okay, you did a GoFundMe, so you in the back,
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But when we looking at that, and it was so many empty spots, like in the middle where people was digging up and all that. And the lady, she told us, she was like, when a lot of these families found out we was black owned, they came and got their family members out the ground.
What?
Yes.
Came, got them out of the ground to move them somewhere else.
Paid hundreds of thousands of dollars because there's been people that's been buried there for fucking 30 to 40 years. Paid to have them dig up and take to another a white cemetery.
Wow.
And I was like, me and my wife, we just couldn't believe that shit.
I can't believe it.
And it's a fucking true story. There's some shit that needs to be talked about. They was like, they lost maybe 10 to 15, 20% of customers. Because they family said, oh no, a nigga on this, we getting our family members up out of here. And they would pay tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars to have that process. Can you imagine what the fuck a casket looked like after being buried for 30 years?
No, man.
They had to put the hazmat tent over it to dig it up, seal it back up again, and take them to a new place. Wow. When they found out that this fucking ownership became black owned, they came and got their family. This shit is like a fucking movie that you couldn't believe.
Yeah, because I'm sitting there still in shock. Like, man, once they down there.
Rest in peace. Let them. No. When they found out that this fucking cemetery was black owned, they came and got their people up out of there.
That's crazy.
Even younger kids, even younger people. So it just show you how bad this racism shit still is here, where even in death, it still hate.
That's crazy, man.
Now, what we need to do is go there, and you need to bring somebody on the show from there.
No, I'm already thinking that. In my mind, I'm thinking like, man, I gotta hear the story. I gotta talk to somebody over there.
I'll give ladies contact.
Man, that's crazy. That's sad at the same time.
I'll give ladies contact.
That's sad.
So it was like, wow. And it just fucked me up.
Man.
So yeah.
Ooh, that's deep. Yeah, man. So what happened with those 313 bad boy Adidas? What happened with them?
I escaped out of that shit.
No, you ain't escaped out of it, man. Cause
so you all that, and we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that on the next show. But what I asked was what I asked wasn't answered. So
no, because listen, let me tell you this, man. On those bad boy Adidas,
right?
Them top 10s, man.
Right.
We had a lot of people in the Adidas group, including myself.
Mm-hmm.
I can't speak on any other pair of top 10s, but them top 10s, we waited for the concept, seen the concept, waited like, man, they got to come out with them. They got to come out with them. And I'm like, those were a pair of shoes that we actually sat there waiting. Man, they so hard. Man, they patent leather. Man, I got to get them. And the way that you had them designed with a 313 on there, that was the seller.
Well, actually, I had 1989 on there.
1989 on there.
Because I wanted to be that for the year of the Bad Boys.
But didn't you have 313 on the other side of Okay. Well, I knew it was on there somewhere.
Yep.
And they came out with them. But they did not have the year on there.
And they didn't have my logo on there.
And they didn't have that on there. That was kind of...
oh, yeah. That was another dose of reality.
Yeah, it was a smack in the face for you, I'm sure.
It was more than a smack in the face. It was kicking the ass. It was a stab in the back because it was some underhanded shit that was done. Because what I was told were, even though I created the shoe, when Mr. Allen sold and I resigned from Mr. Allen's, I lost the rights to that shoe. So Adidas can do whatever they want to it then too. I said, but even though I created it and I got emails saying like, this is Ty's shoe, this is that. So this is the bullshit they try to run on me. Shout out Vonda Evans.
That's my girl.
Shout out Vonda Evans. Vonda. Oh, fuck that. And we're going to leave it at that.
That's Vonda's law.
We're going to leave it at that. We're going to leave it as, oh, fuck that, Ty. Okay, this what they ain't gonna do, and this what we about to do.
She got up on it.
So, and that was another dose of reality too, is make sure you got paperwork. Make sure you got ownership. That's why this pony, tonic, and starter deal is so tremendous, because now I got paperwork.
All right.
And I got percentage of sales in writing.
And writing.
They can't take that away.
Can't take that away from you.
And once again, it's a guy from the city of Detroit, born and raised in the inner city, that even though everything he's been through in his life, negotiated a deal, and he's the creative director for 3 sneaker brands now. That's the highest you can get besides the president and the owner. That's it.
Yeah, no, that's big accomplishment.
And I did it from Detroit.
Big accomplishment.
And I did it from Detroit.
Oh, man.
So, yeah. And you heard it here first on the Lavish T. Williams show. Another show from Detroit.
From Detroit.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah. So let's talk about these games, man, and these relationships that you got with these celebrities, man. Big time sports people, man.
Oh man.
You know, because I see, well, I'm sure with you being here with the apparel, the starters jacket, and the sport teams, and a lot of the retro stuff, man. How were these relationships built, man? You had like every floor seat game, you know.
Yeah.
In and out of the state, man. Like,
yeah, I fucked people up when I was at the Garden on the floor.
I know it.
But that shout out to my brother Carl Banks. He made sure that you know, that's the one guy that I give my all to and I trust in this business, because he hasn't showed me nothing else but loyalty and respect, and everything he said was gonna happen, he made it happen.
Okay.
And Carl Banks was a very important part of me getting this sneaker deal as well too. Okay. So he was like, Ty, just hold on. It's going to happen. Hold on. And I'm like, yeah, it's easy for you to say. But he got it done, made it happen. And, you know, him and my sister, Manny Gonzalez out of New York, she helped me out tremendously through this. And I had people that, one thing about this, man, and I tell people all the time, we talked about this earlier too. You can fuck up your personal credit. Don't ever fuck up your street credit.
Right.
Don't ever fuck up your name in the streets. Because in this industry, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Just like in life, it's who you know. And that's why you got to treat everybody with respect. I know it's an old cliche where it's you got to treat the janitor like you treat the CEO. Yes.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Because I'm a living testimony of that. Because if we rewind back to the beginning of this story, where did I tell you I started at Strictly Sportswear?
On the sidewalk.
Being the fucking janitor, sweeping the streets, cleaning windows, learning. So that woman, Dorothy Hamlin, rest in peace, she taught me everything in business, from being an owner, not an owner, a proprietor of land. Because she used to always say this, who you give your money to, so goes your power. And when we learn the power of our dollar, we will be unstoppable. Now, it don't have to be the power of your dollar. It could be the power of your idea. Whatever ownership you have. Because you got ownership of ideas.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
So make sure you get ownership of your ideas in paper as well, too. So I was fucked more than I ever fucked, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
So now, I don't mean to be graphic,
oh,
but right now we fucking good now. So it's like, because I got the paperwork right.
Right.
But you had to learn this. I tell everybody, don't look at my wins. Look how I came back from them losses.
Yeah, because the losses is what made the wins. And it took a lot of them losses.
Them wins are temporary. Because right now it's like, okay, like I told you before, now we're at the top. What's next? So now I got a bigger task. So now I gotta override. Now I gotta compete with Reebok. Now I gotta compete with Adidas. Now I gotta compete with that fucking monster Nike and Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Just to even build a brand. Because that's the level that I am now. So now, even talking to you about this shit, I tell you, it's hitting me now. It's hitting me now because, goddamn, as of starting last Friday, tomorrow, these are not my allies anymore. These are my competition. So this is what I'm going up against. Motherfucker from Detroit Went to Tappan Elementary. Went to Southwestern High School from Roseline. Started at Strictly Sportswear. Is in charge of 3 sneaker companies. In charge, not an employee. I'm in charge.
Yeah,
you see
buddy.
what I'm saying? So, you know,
no, that's
people gonna look at this 10 years down the road and look at this interview and be like, "That's where it started."
That's where it started. We got
no
the
pun
history.
intended. That's where it started. Where it start.
Yeah.
Because if it ain't the time Mopkins started, your ass still on the bench.
He's still on the bench.
See?
So outside of Detroit, you know, because we repping, man. We repping because you brought the teams back, man. You brought the Pistons, you brought the Wings, you brought the Lions, you brought the Tigers, you brought those Jackets back. Who is Ty Mopkins outside of Detroit, man? Are you a name out there yet, or are you constantly growing? I mean, every day you're growing, but are you constantly growing, being more noticed out there, or are you already, you know, somewhat noticed?
It's out there. So you know, we done Breakfast Club. So now, shout out Nori and EFN. So the goal is we're going to do Drink Champs. And this is, shout out my man Stack Jacks. We're going to do All the Smoke, him and Matt Barnes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's people like them that help put me in the position to win, because I came into this game with no motive. I came to you like how I come to you if you were somebody that was at the bus stop. Motherfucker, see, people be like, damn, you know old boy, you know him, you know that. They just regular people to me. Knowing these motherfuckers, I don't. How can I say this? I don't give a fuck about that, because that's their blessing, that's their fame, that's their blessing. But we cool, you know. And I had these people that help me because I come to you with no gimmicks. If I can help you, I'm going to help you. Once again, like I said, my name good in these streets. A lot of people, especially here in Detroit, they can't say they good on the east side, west side, southwest, and north end. I got all 4.
Yeah.
Well, I can go anywhere. That's Ty. That's my guy. Shout out my man Will Willingham. They just did their thing last night at Joe Louis breakfast spot. Have you been there yet, to the Joe Louis restaurant?
Not.
So they have the rights to the Joe Louis estate to do apparel.
Okay.
So I went there to support him.
Plugged.
Plugged in. Yeah. So it's like I went there and it was like a family reunion again. Everybody I ain't seen in years. This my baby, Ty. Shout out Tit. This my baby. You know what I'm saying? So when you got that street love and it's genuine, it's nothing like that. And that's what I take from here. If I go to New York, I'm good in any borough of New York. If I go out to LA, I can go to Compton. I can go to South Central. I can be anywhere. And I'm good because they know I'm Ty and I'm genuine. A lot of motherfuckers, they can see past the gimmicks. They can see past that because they know not only am I going to do something in this city, but I'm going to go do something in New York to help people in New York. I'm going to go talk about mental health. Shout out to Inceptions. I don't know if you ever met Dave from Inceptions.
I have not.
Got to meet him. That has helped me out a lot too, out there in Farmington Hills, the mental health gym. That helps me out a lot. So when they know when I come, and social media's helped it out too because they follow my story. I don't show you wins on social media. I show you my L's. And I tell people all the time, people on social media only show their wins.
That's it. They definitely show they wins.
So don't go off of social media.
They too proud to show a loss.
No. I show you why I'm at the doctor. I show you why I'm doing this. I take a picture with my fucking primary healthcare doctor telling you motherfuckers, y'all need to go to the doctors. You need to get you a PC. What the fuck is a PC? A lot of people don't know what PCP is. Get you a primary care physician.
Yeah.
Get you go see a fucking doctor. You know what I'm saying? So when they see me, they think they know me because I put everything on there. I put together, I'm a family man. I'm married with kids. I'm proud of my kids. I'm proud of my friends. I promote my friends. Just because I got a fucking blue check on Instagram doesn't mean that being verified on Instagram, I've been verified in the street for years. So that meant a lot to people because they could say, Ty is one of us. Mm-hmm. He speak our language. So we support him because we know that he ain't about to go get the iced out rollie. He ain't about to drive. Man, I drive the same fucking truck I've been driving for almost 14 years. Can I go get a new car? Of course I can. But my wife gets a new car every 2 years. I make sure she good. Me, I don't give a fuck about that stuff, man. That shit don't impress me. When I was doing that shit, it brought the wrong attention to me. I don't want no attention around me, even though I get it. But I could walk in the room, the plainest person in the world,
And still stand out.
and still stand out with the guy that got fucking $100,000, $200,000 worth of jewelry on him, because they know me. So that's who Ty Mopkins is.
Oh man, Ty Mopkins around here. So Jalen Rose, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's your best friend or something? Close friend?
That's
just
my brother.
Because I always see
That's my brother.
you and Jalen communicating
That's
pictures.
That's my brother. That's my brother. Ever since, because we came from the same struggle, so we know. I know his story just like he told mine, because we catch the living on his fucking bus together when we was broke as fuck going to Southwestern.
Man, I love it.
Yeah,
I mean, I love it when I see that, man.
And it's genuine. We hooking up this week when he come to town. That's my brother, and it's not. Oh my God, that's Jalen Rose. That's Jay.
And he probably like that better than
He loves
all that
it.
other stuff,
He
man. To
loves
be
it.
around real, genuine people.
And that's another reason who set the tone for me too. Because you got to imagine, I was there during the Fab 5 days. When he was at Michigan, I was going up there kicking it with him. When he went to the league, I was with him. So it ain't nothing for me to see Nas. It ain't nothing for me to see these people. And they just regular fucking people. You know what it's like to see Nas get geeked because it's Jalen Rose? But I'm geeked because it's fucking Nas. Jay signed to Rock Nation. You know who Rock Nation is?
Mm-hmm.
So it ain't shit for me to see Jay-Z or Beyonce. It's like, oh, okay. And?
Right.
But another thing, too, we from fucking Detroit. We the stars.
And that's how we feel. That's our mentality.
How we feel.
We like, oh, I see them.
Oh,
but do they see us?
Right, I'm from the D. We quick to say, what up, though? We quick to say that. Detroit has been the most knocked off city in the world when it came to slang, hustle, fashion, whatever. Now everybody wearing Cardis.
And we've been doing that.
Been doing it. Now
I
don't want to do it no more because everybody doing it. When you see Snoop, when you see Jeezy, what's the first 3 words they say when you see him?
What up, Joe?
What up, though?
They already know it. They already know it.
What I want to do? Oh, and shout out Jalen Rose. He owns the right to What Up, though. Businessman. He went and copyright. He went and got that copyright.
He like, let me go ahead.
Let me go on and do
this, man.
So, not even that. When I really, really, really got time, and it's going to be impossible to find, I want to find the first motherfucker who said those 3 words. Because we owe him. If he not here, we owe his family.
Yeah. Because I done heard so many different stories, man, dating back to the 80s. Then I heard from the 80s dating back to the 70s. So I really don't even know. And I'm younger than you, so there's no telling where it really came. I need to find out
who was the first motherfucker that saw somebody and the first 3 words were, what up, though?
What up, though?
Because that shit spread it like wildfire.
Right. And to really know the neighborhood that it originated from.
Exactly.
You know, was it the East Side thing, West Side thing,
North
was
End?
It a factory thing?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Where did the word come from?
Who was the first motherfucker that saw something? What up, though?
You know, because you know what, to be honest, I think we always said it unconsciously. And then
it's a part of our
when the
vocabulary.
Song came out, we actually thought about it and said, that's what we say. So we were saying it anyway.
Right.
It just didn't catch on until the
That's
song
why when you're out of
came
town,
out.
you always tell somebody from Detroit.
Right.
Because we had slang, square business with Squo. Squo?
You must be from Detroit.
Right. You from the D? You from the crib?
Yeah.
We don't even say Detroit. Oh, you from the crib?
And you could tell, I mean, we got a certain swag.
We got a certain
walk.
You
can
tell.
Yeah. Got a certain walk.
Yeah.
You know, I know when I go out of town, we gonna go back to these top 10s. If I'm wearing my Adidas, when I was in Atlanta, just in November, and anywhere over the last few years, when I got my Adidas on, man, you must be from Detroit. Yeah, why you say that? I could tell, man. It's only the Detroit people, they be wearing that stuff.
And then you know what they say? Are you from the crib? Where you from? I'm from the West Side, and then we got to tell you the streets.
I got a video of a guy. I was interviewing a dude down in the line. He said, yeah, I'm from Detroit. I said, you from Detroit? Where at? So he had to, he couldn't tell me the generic from Detroit.
Right.
I had to ask him, what street you from? Oh, I'm from 7 Mile. 7 Mile and what?
Right.
Well, what high school did you go to?
Right.
I had to, I had to ask him a couple because he had to verify.
You got to check his credentials.
Yeah, don't just say I'm from 7 Mile because you heard it.
Right.
Or because you rolled down that street.
Yeah.
But he's like, I'm from 7 Mile. I said, what school you went to? I went to Henry Ford. 7 Mile between what street? I between Evergreen and Southfield. Okay. You said enough. You said more than enough.
You passed the test.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Because people like, what up, though? Oh, you from the crib? Yeah, where you from? Oh,
yeah,
you from the crib. All right,
yep,
right there.
Yep.
Gas station over there, the Coney Island over there. Because that's our landmarks in Detroit.
That's it. And then when
we're going to find you before GPS. We found you from the restaurants and the gas station.
When we go out of town, what is a Coney Island?
Exactly.
A who? No, we ain't got one of those. Our thing is, this or that. You know what I'm saying? So we got it. Then I get other people that they know I'm from Detroit, and they automatically, what up, Joe? That's what y'all say up there.
And for years, we was known as White Castle, too. Because White Castle wasn't franchised. Like in the mid-'70s, early 80s, White Castle was only like in Ohio and Detroit.
Yeah, because Atlanta don't have a White Castle. Not from what I believe. They don't have a White Castle. Right. And they like, man, I want to get White Castle when I go out of town.
White Castle or in the freezer. The
little burgers there.
The bullshit.
Yeah.
So, I tell anybody, I was blessed to grow up in Detroit. It's nothing like Detroit.
Ain't nothing like Detroit, man.
Ain't nothing like it.
Ain't nothing like it, man.
When they love you, they love you. When they hate you, they let you know, like, Ty, you tripping. We love you. That's why I tell everybody. You can rebound from your personal credit being fucked up.
But you can't, man. If
you don't
if
ever
the streets don't like
Detroit love. Because ain't no city like it.
Ain't no city like it, man. I go to other cities, man. Even when I go to Chicago, when I go to L.A., when I go to cities where I'm always seeing them on the news, and I'm looking like, man, they crazy. They look at me, man, you from Detroit. Y'all crazy up there. I be like, man, no, we good, man. I see the stories y'all got going on over there. But they look at us like, man, y'all from Detroit. Shoot. Man, y'all this. And then our economy don't make it no better.
They don't.
Because we in Detroit, you got the guys in Cali, Chicago, they cost of living is way up here. And they like, man, hey, is it true, man? Y'all can go buy a house in Detroit for $5,000. You know when the houses was $1,500, $2,000, $5,000. It was unheard of in them other states.
Right.
And they like, what, man? I should come down to Detroit and do that, man.
When I used to go to New York, I had some friends there, and they would have to share apartments.
Because of how much it is.
$3,500 a month for an apartment.
Yeah, I believe it.
And I'm like, what the fuck? And you can get a house built from the ground up.
For that.
And your mortgage is only $800 a month. If man, that.
I was in Riverside. California. Riverside, California, the neighborhood that I was in, they got houses like we got in the Brightmoor area. And those same houses.
People always ask me why I take off the labels because they ain't cut the check yet.
Yeah, I do that too.
Yeah, they ain't cut the check.
I do that too. I take them off. When I had guests
I saw the comment, people like, what, why? Because they ain't cut the check yet.
No, you got to pay me for that.
Got to.
Because if I put it up there and I'm doing
already
great,
buying it.
Right. But if I'm doing great on my show, then you might want to, pay me to drink your water.
Exactly.
But yeah, man, in Riverside, California, man, they got houses like Brightmoor houses, man. And they $300,000. $280,000.
Yeah.
When the guy told me that, I said, "What? Are you serious?"
Yeah, he was very serious.
I'm like, man, and they telling me, I got a homegirl living outside of L.A., outside of Compton, Lawndale, and their rent for like a 1-bedroom is like $1,500-$1,800 for an apartment down there,
and it's not even a fucking beautiful view.
It's not.
Not even a beautiful, you looking at bullshit.
And the average house over there, man, is like $500,000.
Yeah,
$500,000 for a house. And I'm like, wow.
Detroit is trying to get like that, but it's like y'all tripping now.
Got a little ways to go. And
what happened was the pandemic fucked it up.
It did, because all our money is all screwed up right now.
Yeah, that pandemic money ain't there no more. God bless the people who got that money and went and balled out and got these lands and these properties. Now you got to keep up with that shit.
You got to keep up with it. You got to keep up with it, man. We got Ty MOPKINS. Listen, let me show you something that Ty had brung in for me, man. I want to show you, man. It's exclusive.
You couldn't buy this.
You know what I'm saying? I'm shocked by it, but I'm glad I got it. Let me pull this out.
So this was just a Cleveland exclusive.
Check this out. Oh, let me put this camera over here.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
This is a Cleveland exclusive.
Check this out.
Only the starters got that.
Only the starters got this, man, from the All-Star game.
Yep.
So Here we go. Check out the front.
There you go. That was an exclusive. That was another ghostwriting thing.
Look at that.
That was another ghostwriting thing.
It's right here.
Sometimes you just got to ghostwrite. Because the one thing I don't mind ghostwriting because I don't want to get to a point where they be like, oh yeah, Ty MOPKINS again. Okay, Ty MOPKINS. Yeah, Ty MOPKINS.
I want them to get like that with Lavish.
They will.
I want them to get like that with Lavish, man.
They will. They will.
I want them to get tired of seeing me, man.
We're going to help getting you there. We're going to help get you there. We're going to help get you there.
Jacket on.
No. See, now you starting.
Now I'm starting.
You ain't on the bench.
I ain't on the bench.
Right. So, yeah. So, no, man, just it's just the journey. I tell everybody. So, keep in mind, what people see now, my son, I started at Strictly when my son was born. He just turned 27. So, there's been a 27-year journey to where we at right now. And shout out to Moto VJ. Shout out to them. That's a black-owned winery champagne company out of Grand Rapids.
All right.
Shout out to Willie and Jonathan Skrill. The fall of this year, I'm coming out with my own wine.
Okay, you coming out with your own wine, man. So let's talk about that, man. What's up with the wine business?
So what I wanted to do was something else because I want to create a lifestyle. I already got the fashion lifestyle. I already got the sneaker lifestyle, but I also want to have something where we can tap into the nightlife and tap into when it's time to unwind. So for years, a lot of liquor companies used to come to me and want me to market them and promote them and all that. And I'm like, no, I'm about to go own my own shit. Kind of like how we talked about here in your studio. Like how you could have rented all the stuff.
Right.
But you went and bought your shit. And that's what we're into now. We're into ownership. I don't want to just have saying I'm doing this. If I don't have part of the company, then I really don't want to do it. Or if I'm not getting percentage of sales, I don't want to do it. You know, we're not about to be poster boys no more. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it for our own shit. So I linked up with Jonathan and Willie and came up with the idea to do this, and they was more than happy to do it. And this is a black-owned champagne company. The only other person I know that has a black-owned champagne company is Isaiah Thomas with Sherlin.
Okay.
His champagne company, that's his. But now these are some guys from Grand Rapids, Michigan that we connect with. And in the fall of this year, it's going to be called Roseline, and it's going to be a flavor wine. I'm not saying I know how to pick grapes. I'm not saying I know how to fucking stomp on grapes in a barrel and create wine, but I know how to market and I know what I like. And this is something that my wife and my daughter is going to run to get them out of my head while me and my son tackle the sneaker industry. Because what I want to do is something that I learned from Rick Ross. If you employ your family and you give them ownership of something else, they'll never be in your pocket.
That's very true.
But somehow my family will find a way to get in my pockets, even though they still have ownership in something. That's just how it is. But I wanna empower them by giving them something. So the wine company will be a part of my wife's and my daughter. Me and my son was to tackle this sneaker and this fashion thing. My nephews, I will put them in marketing. I'm gonna give them a marketing firm and teach them how to do this.
Generational wealth.
Generational wealth. My niece want to do nails now, so I want to teach her how to do that along with my granddaughter. So they want to learn how to do this. My grandson want to play football, so he's playing football. So now I'm still having my connections with all these professional football players where he can walk into a camp and he can get some advantages.
Yep.
So that's all I'm doing now. So once again, the journey is 27 years. And I tell people all the time, it's never for me. It's who come after me. Mm-hmm. And that's how we build. Because very so often you find black ownership or black businesses that's been in business for 35, 40 years and nothing is passed down. I wasn't passed down nothing but a bunch of heartaches.
Oh, man, tell me about it,
You see what I'm saying? But we setting shit up, you setting shit up where you can be in a position to pass something down to your kids. It may not be this, but you doing this to provide for them where they can go follow their dreams.
They can follow their dreams and they can see the work that they actually did. Because I didn't get to see that growing up.
Exactly. I didn't see that. All I saw was me taking a fucking $65 book of food stamps and trying to get at least $40 for it so I can go buy some sneakers.
Yeah.
So now I did that. Now I'm in charge of creating sneakers. You see what I'm saying? So
Thanks.
it's all full circle, and it's always going to be bittersweet because the one person can't see this who I wanted to see this.
I know it. I know it.
So
I know it.
that's why I tell everybody, it's you may see this, and this is all a part of marketing. You see this, but it's never for us.
It ain't for us.
It's for the
It
ones
was
who
for
come
us
after.
in the beginning.
In the beginning.
But then, you know, it's like, man, listen, I can't take this stuff with me. But I want to set it up so they, because my vision is for them. That's the vision.
Yes.
Okay, I did it. I got it going. But man, I want it to be where my kids, grandkids can say,
yep,
well, our grandfather started this.
Yes. And this has been a family business for 40 years.
Right.
Because how many years you used to see Gardner White? How many years you see Art Van?
Right.
Law Forms, Call Sam. We're celebrating 50 years.
50 years. You got the father, the son, their kids.
Fago is a family-owned business. Better Made is a family-owned business. You see what I'm saying? This is a brand. This is a family-owned business.
That's it right there.
Everybody that does stuff is a family-owned company. Why my family can't do it?
That's it. Why they got to be working for somebody?
Why we always buy to be the consumer?
But they gotta have that mind.
They gotta have that mind,
and they gotta have that drive.
And so that's our responsibility to teach them. Exactly.
Teach them that.
So once again, I got 27 years worth of knowledge. That's worth more than somebody who got a fucking degree now.
Correct.
Because I have what they call hands-on learning.
Hands-on.
You see what I'm saying?
So you know it.
That's why. But I still got to go back and get that one piece of paper that's always eluded me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to make it official.
Now
it's
complete.
Gotta do it.
But in this game, 27 years
speaks for itself.
From the rooter to the tutor.
I don't think we spoke on this, man.
Okay.
We got all the good things,
mm-hmm.
all the accomplishment, man. Tell us about the downfalls. As far as everybody could not have liked you coming up.
This is gonna sound crazy.
Somebody had to hate on you.
If they did, I didn't know. Well, let me stop. It's going to be in the book.
Okay.
Because two things I talked about. The Grant Hill thing and the Adidas thing.
Okay.
So it had to be some hate in
them
there.
Too. Because, you know, I wanted to know, when you a guy focused,
mm-hmm.
how were you able to deal with it? How did you manage to deal with it?
Well,
you know, how do you deal with the negativity that comes your way?
I think because I was so focused on what the fuck I was doing, I didn't even pay that shit no attention.
Okay.
That's if that makes sense.
Going. That's where I was going. Because me, on the other hand,
I know you get it.
I get it all the time. You know, I get it all the time. Puritan guy, neighborhood guy in the neighborhood, in the area. Oh, he was this guy.
Who you think he is?
You know, yeah, who you think he
What
is
make him
doing
so
this?
Special?
Correct. After the relationships I built. So for me, one of my biggest drives, outside of me staying focused, because I know what I want to do, one of my biggest drives, I feed off of negativity.
Mm-hmm. You need it.
It doesn't bother me, and it's like some people they get discouraged with negativity.
Mm-hmm.
People talk about it, they get discouraged. No. It feels like for me, it's like a plate of fine dining dinner.
Mm-hmm.
I eat it up, and it just it makes me even stronger. It just blows me up into something else. And I laugh when people say things to me. If someone was to say, "Hey man, you know those guys over there, or them people over there, man, they don't like what you're doing with these tow trucks, or they don't like how you moving," I'm like, well, I mean, what's the problem?
How am I moving? Because
what am I doing different than what they could or should be doing if they were worried about them?
That's the key word.
You know, but they're not worried about them.
You know why?
Why?
Because you did it and they didn't.
They didn't. And it's working for me. And when I get that, it just pushes me, and it makes me become a whole nother animal.
No, I get it. You know, that's the same thing with me. But like I told you before, when somebody tell me what I can't do,
I go over and beyond.
Because when the deal, because I didn't tell nobody about this deal, not even my wife. The only people who knew about this was me and the people I was dealing with, and two other people that helped me. And I was a different Ty meaning that I had this on my head and my shoulders, and I wasn't real with my wife. Cause she asked me, "What's going on? What's wrong with you? Why you?" Oh, I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm cool. I wasn't the cracking joke tie. I wasn't the lovey-dovey husband. I wasn't the playful father, grandfather thing. I wasn't tired because I had this pressure on me because I knew I had to get
Okay.
this shit done because this was the shot. This was it. And so then when I finally told her, she was kind of hurt because she felt like that was something that I had to share with her, which I probably should have. But once I told her, how many times I came to you with something and it didn't happen?
Right. So
I,
it was just something I just needed to
I didn't
just
want that
wait.
disappointment again. I didn't want that episode of Good Times again. Like we about to get up out of here, we about to do it,
And it don't never happen.
Then that song play. They always play on Good Time when the bad time, like dun 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 dun. I didn't want that to happen no more. Because I was tired of coming to her with disappointments, because she understood it, but being a woman, she didn't understand it because she still feel like she should have been a part of it. But once I told her, I was tired of coming to you with fucking dreams and then it don't come to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to come to you with something that was fucking about to happen.
That was about to happen, man. It's dead on.
We here.
Yeah.
You know, so she understood it. And when it finally happened, she looked at me and she said, "You better shit on these niggas." You know, my wife in Joy Road. So, you know, she has that Joy Road mentality.
Okay.
So because she know of all the disappointments that we've been through, she'll never say you. She say we, because she took the hits with me. And when you better shit on, as serious as a person can say something to you, if she could have put her finger in my face, you better shit on these niggas. So I ain't got no choice now but to do it.
But to do it.
Yeah. So no, and that gave me that Red Bull boost when she said that. It was like, oh shit, it's on now.
It's on, baby.
Y'all done pissed off wife. So now it's like, because she know the battle. She knows of the backstab. She knows of the double cross, because she lived that shit with me. And I'll never forget, it was a time when we was really struggling. And she had to go out, and she was the breadwinner. Because I was going through a transition. This was the transition where I was fucking going through anxiety and depression and all that. And I knew she was the right one, because I was like, you know, I feel less of a man because you got to go do this. But I promise this shit is going to happen. I promise I'm going to do this. And she was like, listen, you ain't got to keep telling me that shit. I know you're going to make it happen. And she said, because when it's all said and done, it's me and you against the world. And then when she said that shit, I was like, bam. Because I had people leave me for less. From friends to relationships to all that shit. You know, we used to walk in the club 50, 60 people. And I used to treat everybody.
They only good when you doing something for them.
Exactly.
You can no longer help them.
Exactly. So when she said
nobody.
that, when she said, fuck that, I'm going to get out here and get it too, because when it's all said and done, it's me and you against the world. And I was like, and that leads up to, you better shit on these niggas. And I was like, say no more. It's done.
No, that's cool, man. You need a strong woman like that, man.
Mm-hmm.
A supportive person like that in your life, man. Mm-hmm. If you had that same person in your life that wasn't for you, that was against you or speaking down in a negative light, man, there's no telling where you could have been at or where you would be at mentally, man.
Exactly.
When you going through certain things, the last thing you need is someone being a headache to you.
Because you open, because when you're going through a lot of shit mentally, your head is open to anything right now. Because you want to grab onto something. Whether it's negative or positive. That's why I tell people all the time, man, it's okay to be man, I'm solo dolo. Yeah. People ask me all the time, dog, you don't got security, you ain't got this, and you for what? The day that gotta happen, I'ma quit. I don't need that, because that gives false image too.
Yeah, I agree.
Because that gives that, like, man, who the fuck you think he is?
I know individuals that do all right. And they don't have no security around. And I asked them, I said, why you ain't got no security? Like, these are people that should normally have security. And they say to me, I really just don't like all that stuff. It comes with too much.
It does.
I want to get in my car. I want to go where I'm at. If a person don't know who I am, I ain't bringing all this attention. I ain't got a
No.
person over here standing at the door.
I still
Some
want
big dude following me, walking me around.
No.
I just don't like that stuff. And then I like to interact with the people.
Mhm.
However, I'm never putting myself in a bad position.
Mhm.
But I just don't need all that other attention.
Because now it's to the point I used to get uncomfortable because people was, Ty, man, let's get a picture. Let me get a picture with. The fuck have I done where you want to get a picture with me? You see what I'm saying? But people had to explain to me, like, dog, they feel because you post everything on social media
that they know you.
That they know you and they feel your shit. Because you just like them.
Right.
My story ain't no different than somebody that grew up on fucking Dexter and Davidson or grew up on fucking 4th Street and Schaefer. Or fucking grew up on the North End, right there on fucking Woodward and Owen. We got the same story. I know what it's like to fucking have your lights cut off. I know what it's like to stand in line at Focus Hope. I just told you I know what it's like to bust fucking $65 worth of food stamps to get fucking $40 in cash to go buy you something.
Mm-hmm.
I done all that shit. So that's why they can relate to me, because I don't sugarcoat that shit neither. I don't make it seem like, oh yeah, we got this and we never lost and we getting them and
yeah.
Bossed up. And no, I bossed up, but it's a time I was busted down.
Mm-hmm.
Not only did I boss up, but I was busted down. So, and that's why they relate to me, because I keep it real, man. I'm very humble.
Right.
I give back. I do so much shit that I don't post, because I feel like you shouldn't post people's shortcomings. Like how I look like doing this. Oh yeah, I just fed this motherfucker right here. He was homeless. I went and bought some McDonald's. Look at this.
Right. Why expose this guy, man?
Exactly. That's
you
embarrassing.
don't know where his mental thing at. He might be very grateful, but at the same time, his pride is like,
I'm not about to make a mockery out of somebody.
My family don't even know I'm living like this.
Exactly.
I was downtown, the Tigers opening day game, man, and I had my camera on my microphone, and there was some homeless people down there, and some people around the homeless people. Yeah. Let me get on camera, man. I want to talk. And then a few of the homeless people, they were just talking about life in general and sharing some information. And they said, but I don't want to go on camera. And I said, you don't want to go on camera, man? You sure? They said, no, man, I just want to tell you that. They was just expressing. I was there to listen. I didn't look down on them. I didn't look at them like they was just a piece of shit. I didn't push them off. I just listened. And they like, no. And then one guy was like, no, I don't want nobody to see me like this, because they're homeless, but they still got a certain pride. And some of these homeless people, and I tell people all the time, it's the difference between a homeless person and somebody that's just out here panhandling.
Exactly.
It's a big difference. They might look similar, but their mind is totally different. You got that guy that's out there bumming, keep bothering you, asking you for change. He's doing it for whatever odd reason. But that real homeless person, and I hate to say it like that, real homeless person, but an individual that's
really
homeless
needs the help
and really needs the help, their pride is too high to really ask you for that help. They won't ask you for it.
Nope.
And then half the time, one, their family don't even know they living like this. They don't. And then some of the ones, when I talk to them, they tell me out of their own mouth, I don't want to be a burden to my family. I don't want to be a burden to my people. I don't want them to have to take care of me. I communicate with them here and there. And that's real life stuff right there. So, yeah, I definitely, even though I be out and I do a lot of filming and recording, I be real conscious. And I actually learn a lot from those type of people. Yeah. Even growing up in my neighborhood, man. 80s, the crack era.
Yes.
At that time, we had a lot of shootings, drug-related crimes and everything like that. And it was a time where my people wouldn't let me go but maybe 4 or 5 houses down. I had to stay between these. I couldn't go to the corner. And I couldn't go to that corner because the corner was traffic.
It was
you didn't know what was going to be. And then we had 2 or 3, 4 or 5 dope houses on the block. So it was like, no, you only could stay from here to here. But those same bums, and I don't even want to disrespect them by calling them bums, but them same homeless individuals that didn't have anything, that lived in the alley, or some of the drunks that sat out there, they gave me some of the best knowledge. My parents at the time, they didn't want me talking to them people, man. What are you doing with them people? However,
You got some of the best knowledge.
As I grew, because I walked to the store.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't walk down the street.
Mm-hmm.
We walked through the alley.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where they were at, behind the building, sitting around, drinking, doing whatever. And they will always tell me, you don't want to be like me.
I used to get the same conversations. They used
Be
to like,
better than me.
Yep.
Go to school. And these young people, they don't get that.
And people like us do it. And sometimes I feel like, because now, how can I say this? Now I'm being called OG. Now I'm being called Unc. It just seemed like yesterday I was called Youngblood, because those would be the guys. Youngblood, come here, Youngblood, nephew. Come here, nephew. Come here, Youngblood. Well, my era is Youngblood. Youngblood, come here, Youngblood. Why you out here doing this dumb shit, Youngblood? Look at me, man.
Yeah.
It's over for me, but you got a chance, Youngblood. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like, they look at me, what up, OG? What up, Goat? What up, Unc? And I'm like, damn, it's over.
I know it. I had a young guy call me Unc last summer. And I looked, I'm like, man, I was, they was calling me cuz.
Right.
I was calling me nephew.
Bro.
Man, goodness gracious, man. Is it really like that? Man,
but you know what? In the inner city and in the hood, that's a blessing.
Yeah, that's a blessing. I done made it
to that status.
To that point, man.
And we got the respect to be called that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'd rather be called OG and Unc because when they don't want to fuck with you, they call you old head. Oh, look, here come old head.
This old head over here about to come talking this bull.
Old head out here tripping.
I got to hear this story over here, man.
Right. But OG, what up?
Yeah, and you don't even know how much you really affect, individuals, man. Because even me, I affect people in ways that I don't even know it.
Because once again, you put your personal shit on there.
And I'm just myself. And what I had to do, what I learned from me, man, I had to own my truths, man, on a lot of stuff.
Yes.
You can't nobody come and tell me something bad about me. Because I already done said it.
Exactly.
You can't talk about me.
Me and my wife talk about that shit all the time. I tell everybody, I nip the shit in the bud so it don't become a forest fire.
Yeah.
Because it was a time when it was talks, even in the city, about me running for a political office. And I was like, man, I can't do that, man. I done too much stuff. And I'm like, hold on, wait. I done talked about this shit. So what can they say? But I'm like, nah, I can't imagine a camera coming in my wife's face because it's going to be fucked up out here because she don't hold them up. Why the fuck y'all out here with this shit? Now, fuck y'all. Y'all got us fucked up out here. Let us run the city. You know what I'm saying? So I had to, and I'm like, you know what? I'm a firm believer in, I'm going to tell you before you can, because can't nobody tell you my story like me.
Can't nobody tell. And I think, the plus of how the world is now, man, people are open to sharing these stories.
Yeah.
And we hear these stories before. People wouldn't publicly talk about personal problems. You got people that talk about drug addiction.
Yep.
People that we know and we see that we could never imagine had drug problems, abused, and people coming out telling these stories and opening up is actually helping other people, man.
It is.
It's helping a lot of other people that they let it out, and they letting them know that, hey, I'm just as human as you. But just because you see me like this, I still got problems. I still go through stuff, or I've been through something. So me, like I say, I don't hold nothing back, man. I own up to my truth. I'm open about a lot of stuff because I'm helping somebody else without even knowing it.
Because I'm still going through it. I tell people all the time, I'm from the real Detroit. I'm not from the social media Detroit. After I press send, I still got to go in the real world. This just to show you 5 seconds of my shit. But I'm still a husband. I'm still a father. I'm still a grandfather. I'm still an uncle. I'm still a cousin. I'm still a brother. And I'm still a friend. So I still got all these titles. So, and I'm still a provider. The most important thing is I'm a provider and a protector. So I got to make sure all this shit happens. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't really fully have a chance to mourn my mom and dad's death because I had to fill their shoes now. Because what really helped me get over it is like, damn, I ain't the only one that loved them. I'm watching my my son fall apart. I'm watching my daughter fall apart. I'm watching my sister fall apart. I'm watching my wife fall apart because we are in a blessed situation where we love our in-laws like they was our real parents. You see what I'm saying? And that's unique and rare that people get along with their in-laws. I love my mother-in-law to death. My mom died. She told me, she was like, I got it from here. That's my mother-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
She was, because she knows you still need that mother, that nurturing. And she took my mom death hard too, because they was cool as fuck. They would be on the phone talking, casinos, doing this shit. So it's like, when my mom passed, she told me, I got it from here. I'm your mama now. So it's like, you gotta, and these are the things that I show. And these are the things that people can relate to. And that's why, man, the bad days ain't as bad, but we do have bad days.
Yeah, we definitely got bad days.
Bad days.
It's just how we handle these bad days.
I get them 2 or 3 o'clock in the phone calls in the morning sometimes. Oh, such done done this, such done done that. You know, it's just that what makes us an advantage is we show it. Just like, dog, your journey with your grandfather. You put that on there from you taking him for a ride, just doing the simplest shit.
Right.
Sitting in that chair next to him. Now he ain't in that chair no more.
He ain't in that chair, man. That's a big deal, man.
Exactly.
That's a big deal.
But we showing it. And you still gotta be Lavish T. Williams.
To the world, because they don't know, they don't care.
They don't give a fuck about that. Fuck that. Show us lavish.
Right. That's all we want to see.
You lavish.
You know, so it's like, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I get it all. Me, my grandfather, man, you know, like I say, man, my grandfather born from the South, man, strong black guy.
Yes.
You know, pride.
Yes.
As we was talking before the show, man, you know, pride goes a different way, you know, for them, man. And one of the hardest things for me, it was me being physically strong.
Right.
To actually have to hold and carry my grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
But it had me mentally weak for me to pick my grandfather up and have to walk him and carry him put him in the car, man.
Yes.
Because he's the strong guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's the guy you ain't never seen no tears. He was always strong.
But he built you up for that moment because he knew that you was going to have to take care of him.
Man, and I know he didn't want it.
Exactly.
He didn't want it.
No, but he knew what he built in you.
Yeah, because it definitely wasn't me.
Same thing with my mom. My mom was confined to a wheelchair. She couldn't really walk because she had oxygen problems. Well, she had breathing problems, so she had oxygen. So my mom was always very independent on everything.
And barely wanted your help.
I got it. I know that's frustrating her because it was to the point where I was about to move my mama in with me. I'm not living with nobody. But mama, you can have 24-hour care. You got this. Y'all got to live y'all life.
Yeah. Yeah. And the old people, man, the way that they think, man, when you compare the way that we think and the way that we live, man, they got some real tough skin, man.
Because you know why? They inherited the shit. They had to go through the shit that shelters from us now. Put it like I told you. My mom family disowned her. My mom and dad was together living downtown when that shit wasn't the most popular thing to be. My dad would get in fights all the fucking time because he was with my mom. They would try to spit and throw shit at them. My dad stayed in jail for fighting over my mom. So it's like, when my dad died in February, my mom really started declining because they were together 51 years.
Right. Man, you know, that's heartbreak.
Even though she had kids, that was her soulmate. This woman lost her family because she chose to be with this man. And I never heard a more painful cry when my mom called me to tell me that my dad died. She found him dead. Yeah. And ever since then, my mom was declining. And I knew pretty much because they couldn't coexist without each other. If my mom would have went first, my dad wouldn't have been long neither.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I get it. But I tell everybody too, my 50 is not my parents' 50.
Not at all.
My parents' 50 they was in bed by 9 o'clock. So it's I'm going out at 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. The 50s then made them old.
Exactly.
50s now.
I'm hanging with my daughter. My granddaughter 14, so when my granddaughter niece 14, so when they 21, I'm about to hang out with them.
Yeah. They not dressing. They still dressing different. I mean, it's just
they're wearing suspenders
man.
and fucking flannel shirts and dress pants.
Yeah. And the older people, not even guys that I know, man, that go to the gym, man, 60, 65.
Yes.
I know some 70-year-olds, man, that look like they 55, man, and they taking care of themselves. I don't know what they got in the water right now.
Well, the thing is, we didn't have this technology. We didn't have this advantage. It wasn't no fucking vitamins and supplements. You was taking one a day. You went from Flintstones to one a day. You know what I'm saying? You went from that to Geritol. Now it's supplements. Now it's all the stuff that you can do. It's all the stuff you can take. So I tell anybody, my 50 is not my parents' 50.
Not at all.
My mother was 50 20 years ago. She died when she was 70. So it's like, I'm not that. I'm very active. I need to lose weight again. But other than that, I'm with current trends. I can listen to Run DMC, but I can listen to Moneybagg Yo too.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so it's
absolutely.
like that. Some of that shit gives me a headache, but I can relate because I got young kids. I got young grandkids that's hip to that shit. So they turn me on to that. So it's even in my era, even in your era, everything from music to fashion, all that. Because when I grew up, I caught the tail end of Motown when hip hop was created. So I still have all these genres of music.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and music is probably the most powerful tool you can have because it's a song that can trigger more emotions than anything.
It do. It puts you in the mood. It puts you in the vibe.
Because I'm quite sure you can pinpoint a time when you and your granddad was in the car and one of his favorite songs came on, he was singing it.
Yep.
It fucked me up because this was my first time going to the Sky Bar. You ever heard of Sky Bar on Finkel?
Yeah.
And the first time was Friday. I went there.
Yeah, Fireman on that.
Soon as I walk in there, my mom's favorite Aretha Franklin song came on. And it's a song that don't even get highly publicized. You know, it's not Respect. It's not all that other shit. It's some very underground Aretha Franklin shit. And I was like, how the fuck the DJ? My wife would tell you, we walked in and they played that fucking song.
Now, the crazy thing about music, man, is that it can change your mood, your vibe, because it puts you on. Because it's certain, it is, like you say, with that song, that Aretha Franklin song, it's songs like I was out at the motorcycle club a couple weeks ago. Yeah. When I'm at the motorcycle
Which
club.
one?
Black Syndicates.
Shout out Zodiacs. I was raised in the Zodiacs.
Okay. Yeah. I was just with a few of them yesterday. But I was out at this motorcycle club, man, and when I'm at the motorcycle club, you know, don't get me wrong, I be on a certain guard and everything like that, just because I'm always paying attention to what's going on.
Oh yeah, you have to.
And while I'm there, you know, doing the biker thing, they play the Temptation song. And it was like, while I was there, man, and I heard the song, my focus on everything that was going on in the room, it shifted because it had me thinking about my grandmother's funeral. The song I kept playing over and over before the funeral. I Wish It Would Rain.
Yep. Out that
You know
piano
what
with
I'm
that first dum.
Yeah. And
Sunshine,
you know,
blue skies.
Right.
Please go away. It's over.
You know,
to me, David Ruffin is the greatest singer of all time.
He was a bad guy, man. And it was like, you know what I'm saying, just the whole fact that, you know, you had your tears. You wanted to rain,
and
so can't nobody, you know, see it and everything like
You're
that.
You're like, please let this song hurry up and go off.
And I'm sitting there, and while everybody's, you know, moving around, socializing and everything, I'm just in deep thoughts. I'm just like in deep thoughts. Then it went off, and I was like, dang, wow. And then, you know, some other music came on, and I just went back to regular. But it was like for that moment.
And then it make you realize, damn, are you here with me now?
Yeah.
Did you play that because you knew, like, hey, I'm thinking about you?
You know.
Because sometimes when shit like that happens, people tell you, oh, that was a sign showing they was thinking about you.
There. Or if I'm in the car driving, you know. When I listen to the blues,
me too.
You know, that's my grandfather. You know, to have my grandfather in the car tapping his nails, his fingers. It's really the nails though.
The minute,
you know
the memories,
what I'm saying?
The memories.
And tapping his foot with his head. You know, that gets me. And then here's the funny part about my grandfather, man. He knew who Chris Brown was. Nicki Minaj.
Right.
All these little fast singers, these little, you know, up and coming, because he'll sit there and he'll tell me. I remember my mother, I said something about DMX. My mom said, "Who is DMX?"
Right.
And my grandfather sitting there, he's a rapper. He's a rapper who just died.
Right.
And I'm laughing because it's my grandfather
Teaching them.
telling my mama
Right.
something that my mother should know.
Should know.
So it's just funny that, she's like, "Oh, I know." But it was the fact that my grandfather, he stayed up on that. I got a video of my grandfather watching Megan Thee Stallion on New Year's Eve. And she dancing. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, "Daddy, you like that?" He like, "Well, that's a whole lot of woman right there."
Right.
So it's just those conversations, man, with different things that got to deal with music, man.
Exactly. And it's funny how our elders caught on quicker than what current people can't catch on. Because it's funny. Because me and my wife went to this concert, and it was Yin Yang Twins.
All right.
And they did their famous song, "From the Window to the Wall, Ski, Ski, Ski."
Yeah.
Ski. And that was one of my mom's favorite songs.
No stuff.
And I was like, "Mama, do you know what the skeet is?" She was like, "Okay, you was a skeet. We all was skeets. We had to skeet to get here." And I'm like, "Oh my God." She was like, "Skeet, skeet, skeet. You was a skeet." And I was like, "Damn, I was. We all skeets." So it's like, my mom was like, "We all was fucking skeets." All right. I like the song.
Oh, man.
This is a white woman. White woman. Listen, man, my mom taught me how to cook. I put my fucking, I know you got a wide audience. I put my fucking macaroni and cheese up against anybody. A white woman taught me how to make macaroni and cheese.
Now, that's a touchy subject for me, man.
I don't give
that macaroni and cheese. Everybody can't make macaroni and cheese,
Let me tell you
man.
something.
And it's only a few
Let me
people
tell you something
that I trust with some macaroni
Well,
and
I'm
cheese.
gonna bring you something, brother. My mom was the GOAT. I put my shit up against anybody's. I kill them in macaroni. I am the macaroni and string bang king. My string beans, can't nobody fuck with my string beans.
Oh, man.
I can go from pork to fucking turkey, however you want it. If you don't eat pork, then I make my shit with turkey. You eat pork, then I'm gonna do it with some fucking ham hocks.
Oh, man.
My mom cooks soul food better than anybody because she had to do it for my dad.
Yeah.
Black eyed peas, cornbread. Every fucking New Year's Day, we had black eyed peas and cabbage. My mama fucking clean chitlins. Can make chitlins with the best of them.
Oh, man.
Man.
Oh, man.
The GOAT taught me how to cook.
That's what's up.
I do all the cooking.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Man, I want to go ahead, man. It's been 2.5 hours.
Hey,
Time
man,
really just
we can keep going.
Getting away, man, because I want to save some more for later.
I got you.
However.
Got you. But when it's real, time go by fast.
Yeah. Because to be honest with you, man, I had just started talking, conversation with you, man.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Hold on, we got D. Warren say, "I accept that mac and cheese and string bean challenge."
D, chill out. That's DJ Steady Rock wife. What up?
Okay. She said she accept that challenge. Yeah, because it's some, the macaroni and cheese.
Man, I don't get. Hey, listen. One thing I'm arrogant and cocky about is my fucking macaroni and cheese.
Because listen, let me tell you this: my homegirl, my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
How many cheeses are you using?
I can't tell you that.
She ain't using just one cheese. If you using just one cheese, you basic.
No.
You basic.
And I'm using certain kind of. I'm not telling.
Okay, don't tell. I'm just saying.
The king. I'm the king. Not king. I'm the king. I don't. What? What?
Yeah.
Listen. No.
Shoot. If you had to tell somebody some words of encouragement out there. Mm-hmm. In life in general, nothing particular, just encouraging somebody any type of way, man. What would be some words of encouragement from you, Ty MOPKINS?
I know it's cliche. Don't give up. But also, shit gonna get real. You gonna fuck up. You gonna fail. You gonna lose more than you win. Because people always look at the wins. Look how many losses you took. Is there more than the wins? We always losing. It's just that people focus on the wins. So it's going to get ugly. You're going to want to give up. You're going to want to quit. You may even want to cry. I didn't cry at my dreams. I didn't cry. If everybody know me, I'm emotional. I'm a crybaby. Because that's so much passion and frustration built up inside of me. But you just got to keep going. And shit, you going to fuck up. Shit is going to get tight. You're going to be lied to. You're going to get backstabbed. But you're also going to have a couple people that's going to want to see you win. And those are the people that you hold on to and you build with that. And if you're serious about your goals and your dreams, it's not overnight. I just told you 27 years. People look at me as an overnight sensation. This shit's been over several 100,000 nights. And I could just tell them, but you got to get out there and do it. A class can't teach you. You got to get out there. You got to get out there and deal with the real world and that shit is ugly. That shit is fucking ugly. You remember when you first started? How many calls for toes you used to get?
Man, barely a few a week.
Now where you at now?
I'm getting a few. I'm turning down a day.
See what I'm saying? And it didn't happen overnight, right?
Didn't happen overnight, man. It took me over 12 years just to get my second truck.
Did you hear what you just said? You turning down. So now your overflow. So imagine you have somebody underneath you. They can catch your overflow.
Correct.
You see what I'm saying? So God has blessed you to be in a position to overflow when you couldn't get a sip. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I tell these people. If it's meant and you put in the work, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I leave people with that all the time. 27 years. I started sweeping a fucking block before I had to get into the fucking door. And now I'm in a position where I'm about to go in the elevator and go to the top floor in Manhattan, in New York, and run shit. I went from the corner of 7 Mile and Archdale, my professional career, 7 Mile and Archdale, to West 34th Street in Times Square. 27 years, but we here. And I don't know where it's going to take us. I don't even know if we're going to, I ain't about to sit up here and be like, oh yeah, we're going to win. I don't even know if I'm going to win. But at least I did it. And that's something that's never going to be erased from my resume. And I tell people all the time, if I quit or if I die, guess what? I won because I'm playing with house money. I didn't go to school for this shit. I didn't take classes in marketing. I didn't take classes in retail. I didn't take classes in fashion designing. I just knew what I liked. And I created a lane that didn't exist. I did that. I created where if it's not a Ty Mopkins starter, your ass on the bench. That made you not want to be on the bench. So I'm playing with house money from day one. If I don't do nothing else in this world, I done won. I'm not Phil Knight at Nike, but I'm Ty Mopkins from Detroit.
That's right.
And I done won. So I'll just tell people it's going to get ugly. You got to keep going. Let's go.
Let's go, man. That's it. You all heard it.
Literally,
Ty
let's
Mopkins.
go.
All right, man. Thank everybody for tuning in, man. Listen, if you can, go to my YouTube or Instagram page, Lavish T. Williams, and follow me, like and share me. I'm trying to get up there. I'm trying to push out some great content for you guys.
We're going to say stop trying. We about to.
We about to, man.
We about to. We ain't trying because you're doing it.
Yeah, that's it, man. We got Steady Rock right there.
The words we throw out there,
they gonna resonate. They gonna resonate. Steady Rock, what's happening? He chimed in. Yeah. I want to say, I think he got something in this building.
Steady Rock?
I think.
No.
He got something in this building.
It's not far from here.
Because I seen the Steady Rock poster.
Mr. Prince.
Upstairs at this. I don't know. He could have been here. Steady Rock, you over here on 10 and Losser?
He on Losser.
He is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is this the same building? I don't think this.
Because I went upstairs.
Wait.
I ain't never seen him, though. I just went up there and I seen something.
Company upstairs?
It's who?
Is the insurance company upstairs? Like a medical insurance?
When I come in, I come straight down here to the suite, and that's it. It is upstairs.
It is upstairs.
I've never seen him, though, because when I come in, I only come in.
His printing company is upstairs.
Okay, because I walked upstairs. I'm on the phone, just walking.
I knew this fucking place looked familiar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm like, dang, I wonder, but I ain't never seen him. But like I say, when I come in, I just come straight in.
Because all last year was construction going on here, right?
I started coming up in here probably about July, August is when I got up in here. Yeah. We in the same building. Yeah. What up, man? I'm in Suite 100. Well, I'm actually at the door next to Suite 100. Yeah.
That's why this motherfucking place looks. Oh, okay.
Yep.
What we talked about earlier. You only one person away from knowing
From
everybody.
knowing somebody.
That's why I tell everybody, you can fuck up your personal credit. You can rebound from that. You can't fuck up your street cred.
Yeah. Okay. He saw my truck. Yeah, my truck. I'm always up in the tow truck. Yeah. Yep. I just ain't never seen him there. Yeah, we definitely got a link because now that I know you in the building for sure, like I said, I seen your stuff up on the door when I was just talking on the phone. But I got to get you down here so I can podcast with you, man. I got to get an interview with you, man.
I've been told Steady Rock you need to do that. You need to have a live DJ in here.
A live, as I grow.
You're growing.
As I grow.
You're growing.
We got a link.
Right.
Yeah, but no, that's cool, man. You know what I'm saying? It is a small world, man. Now, I could have had this guy out here. He could not like me because of something I did out in the street. Reputation.
And then he'd been like, Ty, man, I don't fuck with him. I'm like, well, hey, dog, I can't do it.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why, man, I build great relationships with people, man. I don't have no problems with nobody out in the streets, man, because it's a big, small world out here. And Detroit is so small.
Very small.
You know, you're going to have people that's going to speak highly of you.
Yep.
Or they not.
Yeah.
And it's not too many people that can't speak highly of me.
Right.
Only negativity they can say is that guy towed my car away.
It was a business decision.
It was a business thing. It was only the business, nothing personal. But
I tell another person this person too.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to brand your name. Because some people may be like, man, I don't think I can do it, man. My name ain't catchy. My name ain't this. Look at what you see around here. What you see?
Lavish.
And I'm not trying to be funny. What's the first thing I put up when I came in here?
Lavish, the lifestyle. Oh yeah. You definitely put your brand there.
You gotta see it
because people need to see it. People need to see that print,
and they need to be familiar with it.
Cause I go places and people that don't know me personally, they know that logo. You know, most of the time, if I don't, I wear this because I represent that, and they make sure I'm good. But when I'm out somewhere, most of the time I got a lavish shirt, jacket, hoodie. If I don't have something lavish on, I will get somebody to say, man, you ain't got nothing lavish on today. Because they're so used to seeing me with something that says lavish that for me not to have it, it's like, man, you ain't got nothing lavish.
Because now, guess what? You done branded so much, the person got a flat tire, guess what they gonna call?
Lavish.
Because it's embedded in their brain.
Call lavish. This guy's always on the internet making towing videos. Call him because I think he can tow.
Listen. Two things that's a necessity. Funeral home and a tow truck company.
You always going to have cars, and they always going to have to get repairs, so they got to get towed to a shop.
Yep.
That's it, man. So, all right, y'all. Appreciate you. I got my cousin. I ain't going to say her whole name up there, even though she got her name up there, man. My cousin, Treese.
What up, Coil Street?
She up on there. Yeah. That's my cousin. And we did talk about you, man, because I had to let them know that you were the one who pushed me with my first speaking engagement with some, I want to say second graders, maybe third graders over there at the school at Burton International. You know, it was because of my cousin. And then, years later, I'm doing all right speaking, I guess. So, all right. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure y'all follow me, like me, subscribe, YouTube. Instagram, Lavish T. Williams, and we're going to end this interview.